Welcome one, welcome all to episode 7 of the Casey and Tyler Show. Good show today, Case.
We have a really good one for you guys.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting into the President's Cup, college football week 4, NFL week 3, obviously our picks of the week, and then the Casey and Tyler get rich or die trying parlay. But, you know, Casey, how are we doing today?
I'm doing all right. I mean, it's been a week. It's been a week at work, but I'm doing pretty good.
I know how to make your day a little better.
Tony the fucking Tiger now.
They're great.
You guys heard that? You guys heard that fucking bottle open? Cheers, man.
Cheers, man. Let's get after it. All right, Casey, before we get into the show sheet today, I saw something on Twitter that I had to share with you, and I think it may be one of the greatest coaching rants of all time. 15 years ago today, we got Mike Gundy. I'm a man. I'm 40.
If anybody hasn't read this article, I don't read it. This was brought to me by a mother of children. I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I want to talk about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction. Here's all that kid did. He goes to class. He's respectful to the media. He's respectful to the public. And he's a good kid. And he's not a professional athlete. And he doesn't deserve to be kicked when he's down. That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. And that's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
I love that rant.
Dude,
I love that.
it's as iconic as it comes. You know, I've probably seen it a million times, and I watched it over and over today when it showed up on my Twitter timeline. I was like, God, it's ageless. You know what I mean?
Every time it comes, every year, you just always watch it. On the anniversary of it, you always have to watch that video. It is a fantastic video.
I think the best part isn't just like his delivery of it all. Granted, and he gets his players back. But at the end, there's like a slew of reporters that clap for him, and you know there's one guy in there that's like, he's talking about me.
Right.
I fucked up. You know what I mean? So I just had to bring that up. Great video. I'm a man. I'm 40. Legendary. First thing on the sheet today, the owner of the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, Sarver, plans to sell them, Case.
Yeah, he came out on Wednesday and said he's begun the process to sell the Suns and the Mercury. This follows being suspended a year and being fined $10 million for making racial comments and being
Sexist.
Pretty much, yeah, sexist towards women and all that. This was a 10th-long investigation starting in November of last year.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. I'm surprised that the NBA didn't force him to sell the team.
Yeah.
And all that, but I mean, good for him to sell it, get out, because
move on.
Yeah, move on with your life, and just take this up as an L, pretty much.
I would say, I'm not. Obviously, we said it on the show before. No unexcusable behavior. I mean, there's no place in the sport, let alone in the world, for that kind of shit. But I do think that it's one of those things where it'd be really hard for him in this industry, especially, to bounce back from that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how are you going to get when, especially with the racist comments and as much and the sexist comments with as many women that are now working in the NBA and all pro sports? It's going to be hard to get a GM or a coach or someone to trust you or buy into what you're doing. And let alone players that are going to want to come play for a guy like that. It almost feels like probably the societal pressure and the internal pressure he's probably just like you said, chalk it up as an L and hopefully move on to something quieter, and he can go to some island where we never have to hear from him again.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who ends up buying both. If someone does a package deal and buys them both, or if it's a split sale and now we have one owner. I feel like it would make sense just to buy both entities. I'm assuming they share a stadium, so that would make the most sense, right?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of whenever one of these big franchises sells like this, it's usually nowadays like a group that comes in and buys it. There are very few people in the world that just have that kind of cash laying around.
Right, yeah, it's like what, at a billion?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mean,
billion?
the Suns are probably worth over $1 billion would be my NBA franchise values have climbed like exponentially, especially since silver took over the league. NBA's doing better than ever.
Right.
So keep an eye on that as that story progresses. We'll let you guys know. There hasn't been any. I mean, there's rumors about who might be interested, but nothing concrete yet. I mean, Jeff Bezos is always going to be rumored. He's wanted to own a team forever, but I really think that he's looking to own an NFL team.
That's what I heard. He's trying to get into the NFL.
He'd rather be in the NFL, like in that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, whoever buys the Suns, I mean, that's a good young franchise to purchase. I mean, you're not buying, I don't know, like
the Lakers, because they're old and have fucking a bum on their team.
Okay, I was trying to think of a legit, like the Magic or something like that.
What? The Lakers are old, washed players.
Yeah, but the Lakers are an iconic franchise. Even if the Knicks suck, that's still like, you know what I mean? You're Lakers biased. I get it, but
I'm not Lakers biased.
You're LeBron biased.
Okay, that's a difference. That's a huge difference right there to being Lakers biased.
That's fair.
I used to like the Lakers.
Back when Kobe was on it?
Kobe was
Rest in peace.
Yeah, when Kobe was on the team and even after.
Yeah.
I'm not, no, LeBron, no.
If you had the money, would you buy the Suns? Phoenix would be a great area to live.
Yeah, I would buy this. I would buy the Suns.
I wouldn't mind living in Phoenix.
Yeah, I would buy the Suns if I had the money.
Would you give Devin Book the max extension?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Probably next week there should be some updates about kind of like who's looking, what the timeline is to sell. I'm assuming
you might see one of our names on the list.
Hey, we got to do some networking for that to happen. Let me hop on LinkedIn real quick. You would think though this probably has to be completed before Casey's got action on the Vodtech game. We got that on. You would think that he probably wants this completed before the season starts, because that's going to be quite the distraction.
Yeah, because like you're gonna have fans that are gonna take out and like come to this like the game with signs, maybe
bags
shirts,
over their heads,
just because they're not gonna want to support the owner.
Well,
and all
rightfully
that.
so. Yeah.
No, I mean I understand all of it, but it's just hopefully someone buys it before the season starts, just so you're out of it. You just cut ties with the Suns and the NBA, and just go like you said earlier, live on an island. We never hear from you again.
Yeah, I do wonder too when we talk about like the pressures to sell. I'm sure even though he's a piece of shit, he probably has some confidence in the world. Like, you're one of my confidants. I'm sure one of his friends came up and was like, "Hey man, I think it's just time to get out of Dodge."
I bet it's time to go. I mean, I get it. You probably will make more money if you keep the team, but just sell, man.
I agree.
Generational wealth.
Better for the league. Get the fuck out. So I saw this. I added this to the show sheet today, and I just want your opinion on this. Interesting note regarding Detroit sports. I want to know if you thought that I'm going to give you a timeline here, and I want to know if you think that this was the most important or vital 3-year span in Detroit history. 2019, Red Wings part ways with GM Ken Holland, hire Steve Yzerman. 2020, Pistons move on from SVG, Stan Van Gundy, and Ed Stefanski and hire Troy Weaver. 2021, Lions axe Quinn, hire Brad Holmes, and then just recently, Tigers fire Avila and hire Scott Harris. Essentially, all the teams hire replacements, and they seem to all be doing better or going to be on the up and up.
I mean, if you look at the 3 other teams, the Wings, the Pistons, and the Lions, I mean, it's all looking good.
It's like trending upwards.
It's
too early to tell with the Tigers. I agree with that.
I mean, it's this. I mean, but if everything else falls in line, it goes. I mean, look at this time frame, like a 3-year time period. Now we're in year 4, and the 4th team got rid of their GM, and now they brought in someone else. So Tigers will be good in 5 years.
But well, that's kind of what.
Hot take. You're here first. 5 years from now, I'm going to mark it on the calendar. Tigers will be a World Series.
So 5
contender.
years from now, in September, we'll be talking about the Tigers winning the division.
Yes,
I love that. I just saw that. I saw it posted today, and I was like, huh, that is kind of interesting because you would say the Red Wings are in a better spot than they were. The Pistons are in a better spot than they were, and the Lions are definitely in a better spot than they were. And I kind of like that. It's not, you don't get that always. I mean, we might get blessed in our late 20s, early 30s to have all 4 teams be really good or at least competitive, which we haven't had that. So
yeah, we've never had that.
It's been, I mean, Wings or Pistons and Tigers, but all separate.
Yeah, the Wings were the first, and then the Pistons came about for technically one time in our life in 04.
Yeah.
Then Wings came back, and then Tigers had that
stretch,
like in the teens,
where
they were
12 to like 15.
Yeah, where they were good. Then they started that rebuild, and then the Lions have just been
dog shit.
Well, they had that that couple year span where they
under Caldwell. Yeah, they got killed by the Saints. I think they had like a 10-6 year.
Going to beat the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. But so we've had a little bit of all, but
it's been a while for like a championship. We'll say it's been like it's been a while for competing for a championship.
Well, is the Wings
Tigers?
The last
Tigers are the last ones to
play in a championship.
Yeah.
Yep, you're correct.
Wings are the last one to win one, and that was in 08.
08. Yep, you're correct. Yep. So we'll keep an eye on that. I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, that's kind of interesting. Like, it kind of gives you kind of just some hope, going forward.
No, I agree.
Moving on. Judge reaches 60 home runs, 13 games left.
I love this whole thing. And, like, this is not because I'm a Red Sox fan. And, like, I just hate seeing a Yankee player, well, future Red Sox Yankee player and the Yankees just on the headline of news.
Always. It's been that for like the last 2 months.
But it's one of those things that's okay, he's beaten the American League record. Congratulations. MLB record 73. Don't care if it's steroid or not. If the MLB look, all these MLB fans that are saying the record's 61, no, it's not. It's 73. If the MLB really cared that much, then they would have stripped it a while ago.
I still think it's a pretty big accomplishment. It's stood for since 1961. I agree. I know it's not the MLB record. I still think it's a big deal.
No, I get it to talk about it, but people are making it seem like it's the MLB record. It's not the MLB record. It's the AL record. MLB record is another 13 home runs.
Yeah. So with 13 games left, how many do you think he ends up getting? Do you think he gets to 65?
I think he'll get 65. Like I'm just trying to think. It's like, okay, well, once he gets that record, how much is he going to play?
Well, it's not just that. It's like once he gets the record, does he cool off a bit? You know what I mean?
Does he not try to?
How funny would it be if he doesn't get another one in 13 games?
That would be funny.
So it sounds like Aaron Judge
does it next year with the Red Sox.
Yes, fuck yeah, that'd be lit. I would love that if he just fucking like goes 0 in his next 13 games, has like a .99 batting average or something like that. 0.99. So Judge is probably, it seems like he's the consensus AL MVP at this point. He leads the MLB with 60 home runs, 128 RBIs, 125 runs scored, 87 extra base hits, a .421 on base percentage, 705 slugging, 1.126 OPS, and some other highly analytical categories that I'm not going to read because people would be like, what is that? F4, which is like an adjusted WAR, he's 10.7, which is good.
So you brought something up to me, and like
this is
like something like you saw, like you weren't like 100% sure, but
I had you look it up. Yeah,
I confirmed it. Aaron Judge has 60 home runs. There is no Tigers position player that has 60 RBIs. The highest is 58.
That's fucking pathetic.
So Aaron Judge has more home runs and RBIs than any Tiger player.
Yeah.
You can add up the top 2 Tiger RBI players, and it's not as much as Aaron Judge's RBIs.
That's insane.
Like I think it gets up to 104. I think Judge has 128 RBIs.
Yeah, it's embarrassing because even if all of Judge's home runs, which they're not, but if they all were solo home runs, he would have more RBIs just in solo homers than the top Tiger players would have in just all RBIs. That's pathetic. I have another note about Judge. MLB just continues to get in their own way. So this Friday's Red Sox-Yankee game is going to be broadcast on Apple TV, despite the fact that Judge is chasing the AL record. This is a massive loss for fans and the MLB.
MLB is a joke. You want that just brings back old memories and me getting triggered. You just triggered me.
It's just because how the fuck are you going to put that game on Apple TV Plus? You know how many fans aren't going to see this? This should be ESPN.
Whoa, look, hold on. Hear me out on this. If you go and you get the MLB TV subscription, okay, I have the MLB TV subscription. I cannot watch any Tiger games because I live in the fucking state the Tigers are in. How stupid is that?
That's so stupid.
How stupid is that by the MLB TV? I've talked to the MLB TV on the phone on numerous occasions because I couldn't watch the Red Sox opening day because they were playing Detroit, and I couldn't watch it because I live in the state that the Tigers play in.
But what's even more annoying about that for you guys, like, oh, well, it should be on cable. Casey and I both use YouTube TV, and YouTube TV doesn't have a deal with Bally Sports. So our TV provider doesn't have, like, we can't watch local.
Okay, I get that, but I pay a subscription to be able to watch all 162 games. Yeah. Why do I not get all 162 games? I'm not going to be able to watch this Apple TV one because it's on Apple TV. Oh, if it's on Amazon Prime, I cannot watch that one because it's only on Amazon Prime. Yeah. If you're the MLB, if I pay for your stupid fucking subscription for MLB TV, I should get every game live, not, oh, you can wait 90 minutes after and watch it after. I got into an argument with a guy on MLB TV. He says, you can still watch the game 90 minutes after. Already know the score, idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I didn't mean to re-trigger you. This has been a thing since April, guys.
I've been on the phone. Like, I've forgot about it for 2 months now. Because honestly, with like football coming up and us talking about this podcast, I've been just focusing on that. It's been hard watching the Red Sox, and they just suck. So
yeah, it's not much to watch this year, unfortunately.
Really hard to watch.
Yeah.
But man, when I'm just trying to watch, like, I mean, even the Tigers, like, I want to tune in every once in a while. I get home from work and I just want to chill and relax, and I'm just doing bullshit.
Yeah.
I can throw on the baseball game because it's just background noise.
Right.
Oh, can't do it because I live in the same state as the Tigers.
And I'm like, now that we're talking about it, it's like, I wonder if MLB thought that this would push viewership to Apple TV Plus, but I promise you, the MLB already has a viewership problem and a young fan problem, and I would be shocked if people went out of their way to get Apple TV Plus just to watch this game. I understand it's a record and all that, but again, like you said, he ain't hitting 74. He's hitting 61. And
that's tying the record, not getting the record.
If this was on ESPN, I'd put it on. I'm not going on my way to get Apple TV Plus to watch this game.
Oh, no.
I'm not. And I love, and that's just like, I love the Red Sox. I'd love to see the Red Sox hold Judge to 0-4 with 4Ks.
Oh, yeah, no,
I don't care.
There's been a couple of games, like, I have Amazon Prime, and it's like, Red Sox are on Amazon Prime. Okay, fuck you. Just so you guys don't get viewership, I'm not going to watch the game just because of that.
Yeah, I think it's a loss no matter what. It seems like MLB thinks that the answer to their viewership problems is like, okay, we need a dedicated streaming platform. Well, you have one. It's called the subscription that you have, MLB TV. But even that's fucked up. So I don't know. I don't want to get you triggered again, pal. I'm just saying.
I think I'm drinking a nice cold Coors Light.
Yes, sir. And here, cheers. Too late. I'll drink by myself. Wow.
I didn't catch that, bitch.
But yeah, I just had to bring that up. I think that's a massive L for fans, you know, because there are massive baseball fans that are like my dad's age, that if they wanted to see this, they're not going to be able to figure out or take the time to figure that out.
No,
so
and they don't have it most likely. So then they're not going to waste their time to try to figure out to watch the game. They're just going to say, screw it, I'll listen to it on the radio.
Or go through all the hassle of getting a free trial or whatever, a subscription.
And then remember the cancel it a week
all
later.
that shit. Yep. Some other big news. This dropped last night. I think Casey was already.
I thought it was this morning.
No. So I was up at midnight last night, and Woj dropped the bomb on Twitter last night. It set fucking Twitter on fire. I mean, like fire. I was literally laying in bed, had just played ball with Izzy outside, came in, scrolling, and next thing you know, what'd you say?
I said, that's nice.
No, you said she needs it? That's fucked up. She's not that big. So, yeah, he dropped the bomb last night. Basically, said, like, it was very cryptic because he said, didn't give the reason why initially, but just said he's facing what's likely to be a year-long suspension. Well, let me just get into it. Celtics coach suspended for the entire year. What it sounds like happened that he had a consensual sexual and intimate relationship with a Celtics female employee. Like I said, it was a Woj bomb at like midnight. It seems a little excessive to me. The Celtics won't name the female. And internet's just having a field day with that because they're trying to guess who it is. He did cheat on his wife with this individual. Nia Long is his wife. She had some things to say on Instagram about it today. I don't know, man. This is fishy to me. It's fishy.
Why are you okay? If it's against your policy, why don't you just fire the guy? Why are you suspending him?
Yeah, it's odd. It's like
is that female employee fired too or suspended too?
Right, and that's
because it should be both ways in this situation because both violated a company policy at this point is what they're technically saying.
Yeah.
And
like a double standard.
Both should be suspended or both should be let go.
Yeah. If I was him, I would probably resign because
What you're gonna sit out for a year and not get paid?
It's not just that, it's just like, okay, if it's that bad, if it's so bad that it warrants a year-long suspension, then to me it warrants being fired. I don't. It's fishy to me. It's like where there's smoke, there's fire. There's something they're not telling us. Like, it makes me think it's like Brad Stevens' wife or something like that. Like, or the president's or the owner's wife. Like, it's that weird to me. And the internet, I mean, this is the problem with stories like this when you're not fully transparent about what's going on, is everyone's just speculating now about who it was.
Who do you think it is? Do you say who?
I think it's a high-ranking Celtics.
Brad Stevens' wife.
It's something like that. Yeah,
Well,
it's not some cheerleader.
Let's give our take. I say it's Brad Stevens' wife.
I love that take.
No. I would say if it's his wife, he's just going to fire him. Why would you suspend the guy?
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I agree.
Unless it's I'm going to suspend him. Wait until next year.
Then fire him.
Just
make him think he's coming back.
Him think he's coming back, and you just go, ha. See you.
So yeah, I don't know. This story, we'll keep you guys posted on this one. Everything's been really cryptic and not. It's just odd to me. I think it was in 2019 or 2020, a similar thing happened in the Timberwolves organization, and that individual was let go. It wasn't a coach. I don't think. I think it was like an executive or a scout or something like that, and he was fired for this exact same situation. It's just weird to me, man. I don't like when you don't have all the facts, but they put out enough to get us talking about it. And it just seems inherently unfair to this guy. I mean, like, it's his, granted, people are human. He makes mistakes. Don't think cheating on your wife's cool or okay by any means. But you just kind of blasted all this guy's personal stuff out there with keeping the female quiet. It's weird. It's weird. And maybe that was him. Maybe he's like, I don't want her exposed. I'm the one that made a mistake. But that's the problem. We just don't know. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I know we both don't hate the Celtics basketball. So I wonder who's going to step in. Is it going to be an interim guy that they're going to hire within? Do they go out and grab a guy for a year?
I would say they just go after their assistant coaches. is the guy.
And just
for a
Brad
year.
Stevens come down and coach for a year.
Or
man.
that, or he does that for a year.
Just comes back and say, "Fuck it, I'll step in."
Right.
Kind of like what that former, I think it was Wisconsin and Nebraska AD stepped in for a game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like during a bowl game, the coach got hired away. I think it was Nebraska's AD got hired away, and the AD for it was Wisco or Nebraska. It was Wisconsin when Bo. The guy that's now Illinois' coach that went to Arkansas.
Oh, I know you're
Brett
talking
Bielema.
about Brett. Yeah.
When he left, Wisconsin's AD, who was like a legendary coach of Wisconsin, was like, "I'm stepping in, boys. One last run." That's fucking sick. We'll keep you guys posted on the story. I would be shocked if more details don't unfold from this.
No, yeah, I would say the next week or two, there's probably going to at least be something that's going to come out.
I will say 90% of the internet I found has said two things about this. One, they fully agree with us that, like, this is odd that he's being suspended for a year but not fired. And everyone else, it was a bad day for Brett Favre because everyone was like, you guys are worried about this. You guys have to pick on this guy. But Brett Favre stole millions. It's like I thought that headline died. And all I saw on Twitter today was like, oh, this is making rounds, but no one's talking about how Brett Favre stole millions. We talked about it.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
We talked about it first.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hold on one second.
All right. All good?
All good. Let's go.
Casey had to take a shit.
Are you serious?
I'm joking. I am joking, by the way. We just had to turn a fan on. Okay, sorry. So moving on. Today started the... No, I don't got any in. Today, fuck you, dude. Are you fucking good? Now we're down. Now it's all cut.
Good.
All right, moving on.
Good.
Mitch. President's Cup started today. USA leads 4-1 after Thursday match. President's Cup this year being played at Quill Hollow in Charlotte here in the USA. USA was leading all matches on Thursday at one point. It looked like it was about to be a 5-0 slaughter for the U.S. They're heavily favorites. I think at one point they were like 5,000 or 550 favorites or something like that. Basically, and the reason why is because the highest ranked... Well, I have it on here. Hold on. Sorry, I'm choking right now. Oh, right here. The highest ranked international player is ranked 17th in the world golf rankings. Their lowest ranked player is 109. For the United States, their highest ranked player is 1 and their lowest is 25. So it's just really not close on paper.
Not at all.
Cantlay, Shoffley started off hot today, man. You know, they're like best friends on and off the court like we are. Yeah, so they like play golf together all the time. They balled out. They closed out Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama 6-5, which was just sick. Kind of a bold strategy for Trevor Immelman, the captain
Adam
for the
Scott's what? Australian.
Australian. Right? Yep. Probably one of the prettiest golf swings of all time. Trevor Immelman, the captain for the national team, he rolled out their what everyone considered to be their number one pairing, their most experienced pairing to start the day. And, you know, the risk in that is when they get beat 6-5, that can kind of shock the rest of your team. Like, well, if they lost 6-5, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's an ass whooping.
Yeah. 6-5. I mean, that's not even a match, really. 6 up with 5 to play is like, well, why'd you guys even show up? I saw at one point, I think I screenshot it. I might want to go through it. But, dude, Shoffley was on fire. I mean, so it was alternate shot today, which is always an interesting format. Things can get really squirrely in alternate shot. You got to find not only guys that like each other and won't get mad when someone fucks up, but the bigger deal, and it wouldn't matter for guys like us because we're just amateurs, but finding pairings where they can use the same ball. Because for a lot of these guys, the ball matters to them. They hit so many balls a day that they know that, like with a Pro V1, they get this much spin on the green versus a triple track or a TP5. So I don't know. I love golf team formats like this. I mean, we were all over the Ryder Cup last year. So I'm excited to watch this going forward. Just to let our viewers know, the format, today's Thursday foursomes, which is alternate shot. Friday will be 4-ball, so it's 2v2. Basically, everyone plays their own ball. Lowest score in on each team. You cart. So if we were playing together, he got a double bogey and I got a birdie, we'd take the birdie.
That would be the other way around. He would get a triple bogey, and I would get a par.
Yeah, only a par because you suck. Saturday is foursomes and four ball, so they play.
And you would shoot 130. What were you going to say, though?
Saturday is foursomes and four ball. They play 36 holes that day, and then Sundays is the singles where they all go out and play each other. You gonna catch any of this weekend, or maybe have it on? No, just because it's gonna be so lopsided.
Yeah, just because it's so lopsided, and it's just
you might flip back and forth.
Maybe Saturday during some college football, I might throw it on. Just some games or
keep an eye on it type thing.
Dude, the NFL slate looks so good this weekend that
yeah, it's tough.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna have a TV on a fucking football all day.
So I will admit that I'm the bigger golf nerd on this podcast. I will be heavily tuned into this. I watched the entire coverage today.
I'm the better golfer.
That's fine. I'm really into the ins and outs of it. So I have a couple of hypotheticals today that I wanted to go over with you. So Casey, let's we want to each pick two players from each side and kind of see.
I honestly don't even know the international.
Well, I'll just go ahead and pull them up. You can just Google present Cup teams, and I'll kind of run them through what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick two players from each side, each kind of like a draft, and then just kind of keep track of how they perform throughout the week, and then see who can pick the best. Obviously, I should have a leg up since I'm the one that's been following this closer. But based on how my betting and picks have gone so far this year, I wouldn't underestimate Casey in this sense. Give us 1 second. I'll cut. Don't worry. I'll just cut this part out and right to when we get our picks.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. See who gets 1-1.
That.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yep. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's the exact fucking thing I chose last time, I think, when you beat me. All right, so are we picking USA first, or are you just gonna pick either whoever's on the board?
Who's ever on the board, but it's 2-2.
Yep.
Cantley.
That's your first one?
Yeah.
I am gonna go with JT.
Okay. Now you get another one.
Yep, I'm gonna go JT and Schauffele.
Okay, I'm going to go... Let's go Kisner.
Are we picking all... don't we have to pick... Oh, so you have Kisner and...
Kisner, Cantley from the Americans.
Okay.
And then my first, I'm going to go... Ime. Samaje Ime.
That's a good one. I like...
Oh, I missed him. Okay, who's your next two?
I'm gonna go Tom Kim and Matsuyama played so bad today. I'll go Tom Kim and Corey Connors.
Fuck you, that's who I wanted. Give me Matsuyama. He'll bounce back.
Yep, I agree.
So my team is
I got it here.
Matsuyama and
Ime
and Cantley and Kinsner.
Yep, and then I got JT.
No hobby.
Ain't no hobby, baby. I will say let me recap mine real quick. I got Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele as my Americans, and then I have Tom Kim and Corey Connors from the international squad. I will say this. I think I have three guys on the American team that I am really excited to watch how they do because it could have serious implications for next year's Ryder Cup. And that's Max Homa, who played pretty well today. He was paired up with Finau today, an alternate shot. Had a few miscues, but they did win. They won one up. I'm excited to watch Kisner because he's fucking awesome, man. That's a guy that you would love to just play around the golf with. He crushes beers, ain't no hobby. He's in with the foreplay guy. He just seems like a dude. And then the third is Billy Horschel because he loves team events. He's a firecracker. And I expect Billy Horschel to be the one guy in the American team when there's like a 2-foot putt that he's going to make him putt it. He's that kind of guy. I'm like, nah, sorry, that's not good.
You can putt it.
Yeah,
it's not inside the leather.
I got to see that one. All right, Casey. So one last thing about the President's Cup I wanted to bring up. So in 2003, it came down to a sudden death tie, and both teams had to nominate a player to pretty much play in this sudden death. In 2003, it was obviously Tiger Woods. Who would you pick from the American squad in a sudden death playoff this year?
I mean, do you have to pick before the tournament starts?
No, I don't think so. I think you pick then.
I would say you wait and see who's hot.
Okay, so
Because I mean, you can say Cantlay, but it's like, okay, what if he has a bad weekend, and then you have someone like Kisner or Max Homa that all of a sudden got hot? I'm gonna throw one of those guys out there. Can you throw your ringer off?
it's one of our loyal listeners calling me.
Answer it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Speaker. Tell him that he's
Hold on,
live.
hey,
Tell him he's live on the Casey and Tyler show. Call him back.
I'm just going to text him.
No, call him back. Call him back.
I'm not doing it.
Call him back.
No, I'm not doing it.
Call him back.
I'm not doing it. Nope, I don't want to bother him. It's probably butt dial anyway. I'll text him at the break. He's shy. He don't want to be.
Call him back.
I'm not doing it.
Call him back.
Fine.
Call him back.
He just texted me. Hold on. Butt dial. He just said butt dial.
Say we're recording. We want you live on the show. I want you to say hi to everyone.
Hold on. Almost answered in time to get you live on the show.
We're not cutting any of this out.
No.
He's gonna see this part.
My mic might have picked up call from Danny. So funny. All right, my ringer's off. Sorry about that, guys. So I agree. I agree with that. That makes sense to wait to see who's hot because all the discussion today was like, do you go with Scotty Scheffler because he's number one in the world, or like?
But it's like, what if he's not playing? What if he has a bad weekend?
To me, I think the easiest pick's JT because he's like Mr. America. He rides for these things, and he would show up for the thing.
No, I think he would.
I think no matter what, you have to pick a major winner. You have to pick a guy that's been in that spot. Because even if you've been playing well all week, if it comes down to win the tournament, you need a guy. So, I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm sure in our recap, I'll have plenty to talk about the President's Cup in case he'll let me do it because he loves me and he'll indulge it. Like I said, I'm a golf nerd, and I loved it today, man. When you there's something about alternate shot where it just, dude, this guy puts one in the woods and his partner's just looking at him like, are you fucking kidding me? You could have used 4-iron and been in a better position.
Like if me and you did alternate shot, I would bomb one down the middle, and then
like
you would take
230.
Yeah, and then you would take a 5-iron into the green, and then you would duff it. You would be 3 fairways to the left.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Are you good, dude?
What? And then I would have to recover.
Dude, we needed long iron in on short par fours with your driver.
Short par fours. No.
You were like 180 off the tee with the driver. I don't want to fucking hear it.
And you shoot 130 on 18. I shoot
not
88.
true. That's just not true. We're moving on. I don't know why. You're just going to make me never bring up golf topics again on this show. You need a new shtick, bitch.
Okay, my bad. You average 105.
That's not true. It's a lot of rumors are being said that they're going to potentially change the format of the President's Cup going forward. And what I mean by that is make it a mixed event. So what that would look like is it would be 6 men and 6 women on both sides competing against each other. And I personally love that.
No, I like that change just because
grows the game.
The President's Cup sucks, in my opinion. I mean, only reason why I say that is just because of
it's typically a USA blowout.
Yeah, the USA blows them out, and I just feel like if you bring in the women into this, there is a ton of good international women golfers.
Yeah.
I would say the top in the world for women golfers, I would say are all probably foreign people from like the Asian culture.
So listen, it would even the playing field. International team would have the number 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, 7 women in the world.
Yeah.
And so one way. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I wasn't
going to say anything.
No, I was going to say, I think that would make it very interesting because, one, I already know a lot of the men on the PJ Tour want a mixed event because they think a lot of these women, I mean, they're fucking damn good golfers in their own right. And I think a mixed event would be a lot of fun to watch. And here's my idea of how it could work. So for the alternate shot, obviously 1 man, 1 woman, play from the middle tees for alternate shot. Even if you have to move the middle tee slightly farther back than they normally would, so you don't have like drivable par fours. And even if you do, cool. Drivable par fours are fun to watch. And then for the 4-ball, 1 man, 1 women. Women play their tees, men play their tees. No problem, right? It's equal.
Yeah.
And then obviously singles, it just men versus men, women versus women. I think that would be a lot of fun to watch. I think it would bring a lot to the game of golf to have a mixed event like that. And like you said, Europe is so dominant with golfers on the men's side that when it comes to the international side, the fall off is just too much really on paper for them to compete. So I think a mixed event would be great. I'd love to see that change.
No, I like that. I would like that to see that change also.
So yeah, that's all I got for the President's Cup. I just wanted to ask your opinions on it.
Yeah, no, I like that change a lot.
Should we get into the next portion of our show before I kill you?
Sure, man, sure.
Moving on, college football week 4.
Why did you put that minus there? Because you're gonna cut that out.
No, I don't know. I was just like this idea. I was trying to like separate the show sheet to be like, we're already done with that half. I ain't cutting any of that out. I ain't cut out your dumbass comments. People know you're a dumbass.
Okay, college football week 4. We have start off college football week 4. We have Maryland heading to number 4 Michigan. Michigan is 17-point favorites. Over under sitting at 64.5. Congratulations to Michigan not being 30-point favorites. Let's give a round of applause. Woo! You're playing someone.
Yeah, they are. It should be a decent test, although since Harbaugh took over the Michigan job in 2015, he is 6-0 against Maryland with a cumulative score of 291-59. It has not been close. Yeah, they have handled Maryland. I think we talked about this a couple times this year with Maryland. I mean, their offense scores a lot of points. We don't know what Michigan's defense is. They haven't played anybody. I'm a little, I wouldn't say nervous for this game.
Like, it's just one of those things that I'm not saying Michigan's going to lose, but it's just one of those things that does Maryland score 17 points in that first half for somehow
it scares Michigan straight a little bit.
And it's like Michigan's down 17-7, we'll say. Okay, then all of a sudden Michigan puts up 30 unanswered points on them.
Right. So that's something I can see happening. Like, I can see, like, let's say Maryland gets the ball first. They go down like 9 plays and score. Michigan's like, well, we have not been here before. Maryland's running backs are averaging 9 yards per carry. That's up there, leading the nation. But also, Maryland's defense is horrible. They've allowed 661 yards passing and 6 touchdowns in their last 2 games. So I expect Michigan to exploit that secondary. And I also have, I don't know if it's a bold prediction, but I do have a prediction. I think after this game, we'll see J.J. McCarthy rise to a top 3 Heisman contender after this game. I think he'll be in that discussion after this game. I think he's going to ball out. Would you like the over in this one?
Yes.
I do too. I do. Because I don't think it's going to be like a 42-0 game.
No, I mean, I think Maryland's offense is pretty good to where I think they can get at least 7-14.
I agree with that.
And I can see Michigan getting 42 or more.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Possibly.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's one of those things like after the first quarter, it could be closer on the scoreboard than it is on, like, the game will be closer than what it actually is. Like, it'll feel like Michigan's up by a lot more than what they are, and it'll still be like 13-6, 14-7, but, Michigan's trending. I don't know. We'll see. It's another one of those games. Michigan, again, they're 17-point favorites. They should win. I expect them to win. I would also take Michigan covering in this game. Backdoor cover. They might. I mean, I don't like the first. Like, they're not going to be up 7.
The number sucks. I don't like the number, but I mean, if I do, I am leaning towards Michigan.
Yeah.
In this one with the 17, so
especially just with the history. I mean, being outscored 291-59.
Yeah, no,
but again, Maryland's a better team this year, so I don't know. But I agree. I don't know.
So Michigan minus 17 over 65.
Yeah, I like that. Minnesota at Michigan State. Michigan State trying to rebound after a tough loss at Washington last week. Minnesota is the favorite on the road at -3. The over-under is at 51.
Love the under. I'm not going to touch the Palm spread until I know
the injury report.
Jaden Reed's out, I think, or at least I haven't heard anything about him.
He hasn't been updated yet.
And
you know what I mean?
Like Michigan State's D tackle, I don't know about if he's playing, and Yeah, we'll see about both of them, just because I think Minnesota's run the game can help them win this game.
Yeah, they've scored 20 offensive touchdowns this year, but have only allowed 17 points all year. Granted, haven't really played anybody. We'll see. I think for Michigan State to win this game, they got to keep Minnesota's running back Mo Ibrahim at bay to win this. He's going to be an NFL guy. He's one of the better running backs in the Big Ten. I think if they keep him at bay, they have a chance. But they cannot get torched. Their secondary cannot get torched. What should help isn't Minnesota out with their top receiver? He's out of the
Minnesota's top receiver is out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so that should help State, contain a little bit. I will tell you this. I don't love Minnesota -3 on the road at Michigan State. Mel Tucker's proven in his time there. He's a pretty decent coach, and I would expect he was probably pretty ticked after how they played in Washington. I'd expect State to come out and throw the kitchen sink at Minnesota and get this one done, but I'm not going to touch it. I will watch it. I'm not going to touch it, but my gut tells me State +3.
That's where I'll lean if I'm talking about the spread, and I would lean State +3, but I still love the under.
Yeah, I like the under too. Under 51? I like that, and I agree. This is one of those things, guys. It's Thursday at the time of recording. The injury report hasn't come out yet. Got to wait and see if Jalen Reed and that D tackle from State are going to play, because those are two impact players on both sides of the ball.
I agree.
Next game, number 22, Texas at Texas Tech. What do you got here?
Texas is 7-point favorites. Over/under sitting at 61.
The Lone Star Showdown.
I love the name of this rivalry. There's one game that I will always remember of this rivalry, even though it's been in Texas court the past couple years. It was like earlier 2000s, maybe mid to late, like towards the 2010s. When Michael Crabtree was at Texas Tech.
Oh, that was such a good game.
Shootout game. I still remember the play. Ball got thrown over to Crabtree on the right side of the field. Texas DB overran it. Crabtree shook him off, went in.
He grabbed his jersey and got loose. Yeah.
Scored, and I think that was the game-winning touchdown.
It was the game-winning touchdown. I remember
Michael Crabtree went off.
Yeah, he was such a good college receiver. He had an okay NFL career with the Niners and some other teams, but he was
the Raiders too.
Yeah, he was such a good college wide receiver. There's some notes for this game. Like we said, Texas going on the road to Texas Tech. Texas won 41-20 over UTSA last week, but it was a lot closer than it looks. They only led by 4 points late in the third quarter. Texas Tech, though, does have 7 interceptions in their first 3 games. Over-under at 60. I think it should be well over 60.
Oh, it's way, yeah. I agree with this.
In the last 4 games in this rivalry, Texas alone has averaged 55.8 points per game. And also, Texas running back Bijan Robinson last week had 3 touchdowns for over 200 yards. I expect him to run rampant. Although there are a lot of people that are saying Texas Tech's offense is a problem. The thing is, in these rivalry games, things just happen and points are just scored. I expect this to be a banger. Yeah, I expect this to be a banger, but I do like Texas -7.
Texas -7 over 61 is what I'm taking. This next game, I kind of love it. Number 5.
Can I tell them what it is?
Number 5, let me get into it. Jesus, I didn't say I love the game and then say why I love it like I usually do.
That's funny. I was just giving you shit.
So number 5, Clemson heading to number 21, Wake Forest. Clemson is 7-point favorites. Over/under sitting at 55.5. What are you thinking about this game?
So I did quite a bit of research on this game because
that's good.
Yeah, not that it's probably going to help. Probably still end up going 1-9. Clemson has started slow all year. They beat Georgia Tech 41-10, but it was a 14-10 game with only 21 minutes left. Dude, I'll strip you again. Better tuck that ball. And the same thing happened against Louisiana Tech. Clemson was only up 13-6 at halftime and eventually won 48-20. However, Dabo Swinney is 13-0 in his career versus Wake Forest. That's kind of an interesting note to keep in mind. He's had Wake Forest's number his whole career. So far this year, Wake Forest has the 5th lowest rushing grade among Power 5 schools, according to PFF, Pro Football Focus. And last week, Wake Forest only averaged 0.8 yards per carry, and they almost lost to Liberty in that game. Thus, we can say Wake Forest is obviously a very one-dimensional team. So as long as Clemson can stop the pass, I like their chances here. And that's why I have the matchup to watch in this game is Wake Forest's passing game versus Clemson's defense. Wake Forest's quarterback, Sam Hartman, future NFL guy. He has a 91.6 PFF grade since 2021, and that's the 4th highest among Power
5.
Yeah, he's the 4th highest grade among active Power 5 quarterbacks, and Wake Forest's offensive line also has a great pass blocking grade. Clemson's defense, I think, is also legit. They likely have 2 to 3 first-round picks on that defense. Miles Murphy, an edge guy. Brian Brees, linebacker, Trenton Simpson. We'll see. I don't know. Who do you like in this, man?
I think this is going to be a shootout.
I love the over.
I love the over, and I love Wake Forest +7. I think it's going to be at least within
come down to a field goal.
I think it's going to come down to a field goal, or at least
6,
or it's going to be less than 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 even, and I push. So I'll go Wake Forest +7 over 55.5. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not dismissing the fact that Wake Forest is better this year, right? Last year, I think they were better last year, but they're still good this year. And I think we both think Clemson's a little overrated.
Clemson's overrated. The quarterback sucks.
And that makes it hard to read a game like this because you look at it and you're like, Dabo, 13-0 against Wake Forest in his career. Well, those beginning games, Wake Forest was as irrelevant as a Power 5 college football team as they can be.
When Clemson was competing for national championships, and Clemson was one of the best teams in the country.
Right, for
that
stretch.
They were the only team that could beat Bama and compete with Bama because of Deshaun Happy Ending Watson.
And Trevor Lawrence. But also
Trevor Lawrence.
But also Dabo Swinney's first 5 years there, they sucked, and they would have still played Wake Forest every year during that time. We'll see. I don't know. I love the over here. My gut tells me Clemson's still going to win. I'm going to side with history in this one. But yeah, I like Clemson -7, and I'll take the over personally. You'll take Wake Forest in the points, and you like the over.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Clemson's going to win, but
yeah. Would you agree that the matchup to watch here is Clemson's secondary versus that potent passing attack?
Just because I think that'll be the reason why Wake Forest is in this game and could possibly win this game.
Yeah.
I'm not counting Wake Forest out of beating Clemson. I think Clemson's going to win.
And Wake Forest is at home. They're home.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Wake Forest
pulled it out.
What are they called? The Demons?
The Deacons.
The Deacons?
Yeah.
The Wake Forest Deacons?
Yeah.
Deacons, Demons, potato, tomato, King, Casey. Same thing pretty much.
Shut the fuck up. What's the next one you got, King?
Moving on. Only reason why I kind of added this game on the list is because of this. I'm surprised on where the spread is. Number 17 Baylor heading to Iowa and playing Iowa State. Iowa State is 2.5-point favorites.
It's wild.
Over Anderson at 45.5.
I
feel like this is a trap game. I'm gonna fall right into it. I do this every time with these types of games because the spread is sitting at 2.5 for a reason.
Correct. Vegas is usually right.
Vegas is usually right in these situations. I mean, my gut's telling me Baylor plus 2.5
Same,
and
yeah.
Baylor money line, but it's also I can see Iowa State winning.
Yeah,
the number's the number for a reason.
It feels like they're giving a lot of credit to not only history here. I mean, these teams have played some close games, but also giving a lot of credit to Iowa State's home environment and how that's going to go. I had to triple check this when I saw the spread.
Because that is a key indicator.
I think it's 4:30, but I could be wrong. It might be a night game. Let's see. Can never just find the answer when you need it, right?
Noon, Baylor.
Yeah, I like Baylor.
Baylor money line.
Yeah, I like Baylor.
If you're talking about a night game, Iowa State.
Yeah.
Baylor money line.
So a couple of just notes for the listeners here if you guys want some extra info here. The last 3 times Baylor and Iowa State played, the games were decided by 1 possession. Twice they ended in a game-winning scoring play in the last 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. So typically these games have been close. It could be a defensive duel. Both have better defenses than we're accustomed to in the Big 12. Iowa State's defense has 8 takeaways on the year. Baylor does only have 2. And Iowa State hasn't allowed an opponent to score multiple touchdowns all year. Plus, they have home field advantage. Iowa State was supposed to be a top 10 team this year. They haven't really looked like it. I still like Baylor in this one. I'm not. I agree. I'm with you on this.
Iowa State was supposed to be a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah. Like I'm not sure that that's what everyone was saying. Matt Campbell is supposed to. They have a lot of guys back. I think a lot of the preseason hype was that they could be one of those like, hey, if they go undefeated, they could make the playoff. Right. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm going Baylor money line. I'm not touching the over under.
45.5. I don't have a read on the over under. It could be one of those things where it's a defensive shootout, or like you said, there's a lot of points. Fuck that.
This next game I love.
A lot of history here.
20, Florida heading up to Tennessee.
I like how you said that. Up, not down. I like that.
And playing number 11, Tennessee. Tennessee is 10.5-point favorites. Over-under sitting at 62.5.
I'll take the over.
I love the over. I love the over in this game. Florida alone, I saw a stat, I think the last 5 years, I think the lowest point that they scored was like 20-something or 30-something.
Okay.
So I love the over in this one. And I like Florida plus 10.5. I just feel like that's too many to give in a rivalry game. I get it's in Tennessee and Florida sucks. Their quarterback has been irrelevant in the last 2 games. What?
Read that stat about the quarterback.
What, Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks, 24 of 53. That's 43%, 45%. 255 yards, no TDs, 4 picks. 13 carries, 28 yards, no TDs.
Now read the one right under that.
Right under that. Oh, he has 3 tackles
in 3 games
with no passing TDs.
He has more tackles than he does touchdowns, and he's a fucking quarterback.
Switch the what's it called?
The end
or linebacker.
So Tennessee's favored for the first time in this rivalry since 2016. It's the largest spread in favor of Tennessee in the last 25 years, but history's on Florida's side. Florida's won 5 straight and 16 of 17 in this matchup dating back to 2005. I think part of the reason why they're such favorites is how well Tennessee's quarterback's playing. Hendon Hooker, he's got 30 since last season. He's got 36 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. So he's electric, and he doesn't turn the ball over. So he's that's really good.
And I heard they're doing a checkerboard for the stadium.
Oh, are they? Oh, yeah. Tennessee by 1 million. Tennessee has held opposing quarterbacks to just 18 rushes for a negative 22 yards. So I don't see Richardson being able to scramble very much in this game. And I have kind of a bold pick here. Tennessee wins this. They could crash the college football playoff party. What are you looking for?
Trying to get back to where we were.
Oh.
I said, God damn it. Keep on talking.
No, you're good. I was just going to say.
I'm flipping a coin.
Okay. Like I said, I think if Tennessee wins this, they could crash the college football playoff party. If they win this game, it's going to be a rivalry. I don't love 10.5. I do expect them to win. But, Florida's just been so bad after that Utah game. It's almost like that Utah game's like a week 1 overreaction. Thinking
Tennessee minus 10.5.
Really?
That's what the coin told me.
Yeah, I've been going
checkerboard. The fans being in the orange, white, orange, doing the Tennessee checkerboard around the stadium. Tennessee minus 10.5. I might be regretting this, but Tennessee minus 10.5 over 62.
Fuck it, I'm riding with you too. I've been going back and forth. I'm like 10.5's a lot in a rivalry game, but I'm like, dude,
because Anthony Richardson has sucked the last 2 games. I don't see him coming back in a rivalry game and having a decent game. Tennessee's been playing pretty good the last couple of games.
Oh yeah, I mean
pretty much all season.
Yeah,
Tennessee minus 10.5 over 62.5. I just completely changed it. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure I didn't have them down as my pick of the
Yeah,
week.
you're good. I agree. I also think that there's some juice here. Tennessee is going to know that this is the first time that they're favorite since 2016. So I think that they're not going to take that lightly. And Florida, history might be on your side, but you don't got Tebow playing for you this time, so you got to step it up. We'll see. Should be a fun game to watch regardless.
Should be a really good game to watch.
Next, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, this is another game I absolutely love.
Yeah, number 10, Arkansas, heading to number 23, A&M.
Nope. They're playing Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
The game is in Dallas.
Jerry World.
The game is at Jerry World, so it's at
Correct.
a neutral site game. This definitely impacts my pick. If it's at College Station, I might go Texas A&M.
Oh, but because it's neutral site?
Arkansas, money line. Over. Nah.
Well, we didn't give that yet. Texas A&M's favored -2, over under 49.5.
Arkansas, money line, I will say let's go under. I can see this game being like a 24-20 game, something like that. I can see a low-scoring game.
So Bleacher Report has Arkansas, this 2022 Arkansas team that's kind of a version of the 2021 Michigan State team. I think their theory behind that is that they could ruin a lot of people's seasons, and they continue just to surprise and impress people. The matchup to watch for is going to be Arkansas's O-line versus A&M's defensive line. Arkansas' strength is their offensive line. They have the second highest graded offensive line in the Power 5, according to Pro Football Focus. And one interesting note, 4 of A&M's defensive linemen were 5-star recruits, and they're all freshmen this year. So they're young and inexperienced, but they have a shit ton of potential. They were the 4 of the 5 highest graded linemen in their class. Arkansas, however, is dead last in the nation, allowing 352 passing yards per game. I don't know what quarterback they're going to roll out for A&M.
Texas A&M quarterback sucks.
Yeah, Haynes King. Yeah, Haynes. Right. Yeah, so I was going to say Haynes King or Max Johnson. King started against App State. He only had 97 yards passing. Johnson started against Miami and got the win, but even then, he was 10 for 20, 140 yards, and pretty much all his passes went to 2 receivers. But A&M has only allowed 2 touchdowns all season on defense. Over-under's at a great number. I like Arkansas money line. I'm not going to touch the over-under. If I had to pick, I'd probably take the under.
Under. This next game sucks. I hate this next game. It's a stupid game, stupid spread. Wisconsin heading to the shoe and playing number 3, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State 19-point favorites. Over-under sitting at 57. What are your thoughts on this game, T? Sucks. Spread sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
you look at it, you're like, they can do it, but you're like, it's so high.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, Wisconsin's defense is definitely better than Notre Dame's, but according to, again, Pro Football Focus, Ohio State has the highest ranked offense.
And Ohio State always comes out slow the first week of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and Ohio State's wearing their black jerseys and black helmets.
Ohio State -19 over 57. There, you just sold me.
Yeah, I think
I think, especially in college football, I think jerseys matter. No, I'm serious.
Okay, I don't know that they do, but go ahead.
Think about it. You're bringing out the black jerseys. I get it's not like a big game, but it's still, you're bringing out a different jersey. I feel like your team's going to try to play up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the seniors and the team probably hype that they get to wear them. You know what I mean? Because obviously they don't roll them out all that often. I would say, to me,
how many points is Wisconsin going to score?
Well, I just feel like if they can run the ball and keep C.J. Stroud off the field, then I would like the under in this game. Wisconsin, I mean, I think they're only allowing like 8 points per game so far this year, so their defense is legit.
I'm going to change my pick. Ohio State -19, under 57.
Yeah, I like that.
That's so
I know it is, because it's basically saying like, well, they're going to beat you by 20, but you're still not going to get the over. It's nuts.
They're going to beat you by 20, and you're going to get 7 points.
Here's the problem: Wisconsin's run the ball 62.5% of their plays this season, And I would like to think that like Ohio State's probably going to stack the box and force Wisconsin to beat them in the pass. I don't see that happen. I like Ohio State minus 19.
So do I.
Okay.
Spread's just so disrespectful, in my opinion.
All right, guys, moving on to the next game here. Number 7, USC heading to the Oregon State Beavers. Casey, this is a night game.
This is a night game.
No, you're good. I'll take your drink. Take your drink. We just had some technical difficulties. Casey's a little stressed.
You just like
I know,
put me
you
on
got-
the spot.
I just
I like
USC.
grab this and you're like, hey Casey. It's like the fuck, man.
It's all good. USC minus 5.5. They're the favorites. The over/under set at an astounding 70.5 points. Just some quick notes for you guys. USC is ranked in the top 10 for the first time in 5 years. Their quarterback, Caleb Williams, has the second best odds to win the Heisman, according to DraftKings. Also, the duo of the Caleb Williams, the quarterback, and that wide receiver for USC, Jordan Addison, the transfer from Pitt, has been paying off huge. They look great. USC is beating teams by an average of 31 points, but they played nobody. How do you feel about this game? What's your read?
I mean, both teams, I think, average. Excuse me. Sorry.
Beer, man.
Beer burp.
You're good.
I think when I looked earlier, I think USC is averaging like 50 points a game.
Yeah.
And Oregon State's averaging like, Oregon, like 40-something points a game.
Yeah.
So I'm going over 70.5. I can see this being a trap game for USC just because you're heading to Oregon State. Night game, they're going to be rocking. Everyone thinks that USC is back. I think they are not. I think they are not going to say fraud. I think they are slightly overrated. Still think they're probably a 10-win team, but I think they're slightly overrated. I'm taking Oregon State plus 5.5, over 70.5, and I could possibly, not saying they are, possibly Oregon State winning this game.
So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I do think USC might be back. Lincoln Riley, they just look so good, man. Like they just hit the ground running and they haven't looked back.
Who have they played?
That's I know. I get that. Fresno State tried to keep it close, but their quarterback got hurt. Fresno State last week also, that quarterback there is going to be drafted. I can't remember his name, but he's good. If he would have gotten hurt, that game could have looked a lot different. Oregon State, by all accounts, people think this is probably the two best quarterbacks in the Pac-12 matching up, Caleb Williams and Chance Nolan for Oregon State. I think there's going to be a shit ton of points. I expect this to be an electric atmosphere. I like USC minus 5.5, and I like the over. I want Oregon State to win. I'm just not sure that they're going to. Do you think college football is better when USC is good, though? Like same thing like the Texas, the Miamis.
No, I mean,
just because all the history.
Just because of the programs and the history when Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame, Texas, Bama, Georgia, Miami, teams like that, all those are good. All like the fan bases are there. Like,
they're super electric fan bases.
I think that's when college football is at its peak.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like that, like the whole Texas USC like mini rivalry back in the day when they were like the two top teams with Vince Young and Lionheart and Reggie Bush. That was some of the best football games I've ever watched. So we'll see. This is one I'm really excited to watch. This will be like probably the last game of the night that I watch. It'll be 10 o'clock here. It should be good. It's going to be really disappointing if USC goes in there and just blows out Oregon State. Both teams undefeated. I think this gives a lot of credibility, street cred, whatever you want to call it, to Oregon State, that the fact that USC is only a 5.5 point favorite, even though they're the 7th team in the country and Oregon State's not ranked. I think that Vegas, whoever, Barstool, Penn, whoever you're talking about that set the line, I think they're showing some respect to Oregon State here. So I like the points. We'll see what happens. Definitely love the over in this one, though.
Yeah, I'll go with the over. My gut tells me Oregon State
plus 5.5,
but I might be falling into that same trap with the Stanford pick a couple weeks ago, and USC could just blow them out. But I'm going with my gut, Oregon State plus 5.5.
Love that.
This next game, number 15 Oregon heading to Washington and playing Washington State. Oregon is 7-point favorites. Over-under sitting at 57.5. I just want to say one quick thing about Oregon because I kind of said that they were a shit football team, that they are garbage, and that Bo Nix is a horrible quarterback. I think that was a little bit of an overreaction.
That just Georgia's just that good.
Georgia's just on another level than anyone else in college football. That Oregon's not that bad of a football team.
I agree. Yeah, I think that we weren't the only ones that kind of dismissed Oregon unfairly, just not realizing that, look, dude, Georgia's just different. Oregon's bounced back. They could have shut down for the year, mailed it in, said screw it, fuck it, whatever. And they didn't. So I don't know. Washington State also not a bad team. After the loss to Georgia, the Ducks have outscored their opponents 111-34. Washington State, however, has already totaled 1,000 total yards of offense, and their defense has only allowed 38 points in 3 games. The matchup here is Wazoo's air raid offense versus the Ducks secondary. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. However, I know you hate this guy. After struggling against Georgia, Bo Nix has completed 80% of his passes for almost 500 yards, 10 touchdowns, no turnovers, but he hasn't played in a tough environment since the Georgia game. I think this is going to be a tough environment for him, for sure. Oregon, however, they haven't allowed a sack all season. We'll have to see, but this is I got some trends for you, and just let me do with these what you will. In their last 5 trips to Pullman, Oregon is 0-5 against.
Sorry.
Are you even?
The ball hit him in the face mask.
Okay. Got a podcast here, man.
I just thought that was funny. Sorry.
It's one of those things where does he have a visor on?
No.
Is it raining there?
No, it's not raining there. He just got hit in the face.
Did he just not get his head around the time? That's embarrassing, dude. I was just fucking with you. I saw it. That's fucked up. That was a good pass, too. Was that Vatek that dropped it? Damn, I'd be pissed if I were you. Who got the ball? Oh, Vatek almost got the ball back. All right, sorry. In their last 5 trips to Pullman, Oregon is 0-5 against the spread. They're 2-10 in their last 12 meetings against Wazoo, regardless of where they play. So, I don't know, man. The history is kind of on Wazoo's side here. What do you think?
I like Wazoo +7. I'm not touching the over-under in this game, but I love Wazoo +7 in this game. I think they're going to keep it close.
Yeah, Wazoo 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games versus the Pac-12. 5-1 against the spread in their previous 6 games at home. So I like that. And they're 10-3 against the spread overall in the last 13 games. So I'll take the points. Washington State +7. Over under 57.5. I'm not touching that. I don't know what Bo Nix we're gonna get. He's playing on the road, which we know doesn't.
But that Bo Nix that's on the road, that's SEC stadiums. This is a Pac-12 stadium. Who knows?
It's still gonna be a tough environment for him.
Who knows?
Yeah. I will say this: the reason I like the under is because so far this year, Wazoo has not scored more than 38 points in a game. So, and I think the only time they did it is when they scored 38 against Colorado State last week, which we know Colorado State sucks.
Right, yeah, Colorado State is horrible.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that. Wazoo's quarterback is very good. I don't know. I like Wazoo +7, and I'd probably take the under.
Yeah, I love the Wazoo +7. I just have no opinion on the over-under in this game.
Okay.
So, guys, we have a new segment alert. So,
yeah.
Guys,
let's fucking do it.
Every week we are going to set a live DraftKings roster. Let me pull up the stupid app. DraftKings. We're just going to go into a quick little... We're going to do a Sunday matchup, so all Sunday games.
Yeah, so we're going to do this. This new segment is because we're going to do it before we do our NFL picks. So it's related to the NFL part of the show. So yeah, essentially we're just going to what? We're just going to pick a DraftKings lineup, right?
Pick a DraftKings lineup.
What's our budget?
How many people do you want in this like league? You want thousands of people?
Oh, you pick. You're more experienced than I am. What do you think? What do you normally do?
Let's just do 1,000. Let's just do a bunch of. Let's just do a big one.
Try to take down the whole country.
Yeah,
I love that.
So we're just gonna do a quick little league. shit.
Why he does that? Can you believe he interrupted me to talk about a guy getting hit in the face with a football? How fucked up is
I
that,
didn't
guys?
interrupt you. I just started laughing. So
He's not even paying attention what his podcast partner's saying. Doesn't give a fuck about all this research I did, all these Action Network numbers against the spread, all these trends. Dude's worried about Vatech, West Virginia. SMH, dude. That's fucked up.
piss off.
Okay, Jesus. All right.
How are you? Okay, there. Okay, we have $50,000 to spend.
Ooh.
Okay, you want to start with the quarterback?
What do you? Well, should we wait? Don't you like to get like a good receiver first?
No, I always go quarterback. I go
All right.
quarterback deep. This is how I pick my DraftKings lineup.
Look, I gotta be able to see your phone.
I go quarterback, defense.
Hold on.
Running back, receiver. What do you mean? What do you have to look up?
I'm just looking up the matchups, like what quarterbacks I love this week.
Ah,
I love the Colts against the Chiefs, or the Chiefs going against the Colts.
Chiefs going against the Colts. Patrick Mahomes is sitting at 7,900.
I'd say that, or
What
we
about Joey B against the Jets?
love that rebound game for. I mean, for
Let's do that.
For
Let's
them.
go Joey B because he's sitting at 6,600.
Cool. I'm cool with that.
Let's go Houston's defense.
Against the Bears,
Bears?
Don't love that.
You don't love that?
Mm-mm.
Why? Bears haven't got 100 yards passing.
I know,
this
but it just feels like
Falcons against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm fine with that one. Oh, we could. I would rather go. I'd rather go Texans over Falcons. So if we have to pick one, let's go Texans.
Okay, let's go Texans.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine
like
with
the
that.
Texans. Let's go running back. What running back do you think is going to go off this week?
I like. Is Kamara playing?
He's questionable.
So we can't take him.
Eckler against the Jags.
Yeah, because even if Herbert doesn't play, he's going to get a lot of action either way. I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Or do we want to spend more on a receiver? Let's go and go Chase?
Yeah, I like the double up there.
Okay.
Although, but is Sauce Gardner going to be guarding him? Or is it going to be? Is he
Or
going to be?
you want to go Diggs? Diggs against Miami.
Yeah, that's fine. I would say that, or Tyreek or Waddle. One of
I'd
those
rather
two.
go. I trust Diggs
Yeah,
more.
that's fine. Let's do
trust
that.
the quarterback more. Let's go another runner. You want to go tight end?
No, I'd rather get another running back first.
I was just thinking we just go like cheap out on the tight end for right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we can wait. Let's wait on that.
Yeah.
Let's wait on that.
Because we might be able to splurge. We don't know. You want to do a Packers running back?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's do Aaron Jones. Okay, we have pretty much $5,100 to spend on every single player from now on.
How many more? So what do we have? Like, tell the guys what we have left.
Let's not go Aaron Jones. That's gonna hurt us. Let's try and go.
What do we have left to pick? Like, tell
We
the
have
listeners.
2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, flex.
Okay.
Let's go. I say let's go tight end because that can help our average salary.
Okay.
So you want to go Hurst from Cincinnati, their tight end.
What about? I like Logan Thomas. He's cheap. He scored a TD last week.
Let's go Logan Thomas. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
Washington. Yep.
Let's go running back. Let's go on the cheaper end for right now. Then we can get a little bit better up at the end.
I would say go up one. I like Singletary.
Singletary.
Yeah, for Buffalo, he's been playing well. I like him better than like Josh Jacobs. If we're not gonna splurge for this one.
Okay, let's go him for right now.
Okay.
Well, Josh Jacobs is right there at
He's
5,400.
been sucking
Yeah,
this
he
year.
sucks. Yeah, fuck that. So Singletary. Let's go another receiver.
What's our budget at
60. We have 6,000 average.
per player?
Yep, 6,000 average per player. Dude, let's do this. Nope, that is a lot of money.
Dude, you got to tell them what you're doing. You
I
can't.
went after Jefferson. He was $9,300.
So we want to go a little. What about?
Let's
Allen
go a little
Lazard?
cheaper. Ooh, Drake London.
Could do that. Yeah.
Just because it's a little bit of a cheaper receiver, it gets our average up a little bit.
Yeah.
And all that, so that helped us out. Now our average goes up to 6,000, a little over 6,000
for a running back, a wide receiver, and a flex.
Yep.
So we have on average $6K to spend on each position.
Yep. So which one do you want to go next? You want to go back?
I'd rather let's go. Let's see what the other cheaper backs are, because if we could get
the flex, we can still go at the top of the running backs if we really wanted to. How did he do? We can go Henderson. He's been averaging at least double digits.
Yeah, I like him better than Cam Akers for sure.
And then that puts our average up to 6,200 every player. We need a receiver and a flex. A receiver and a flex.
I like Hollywood Brown. I like Thielen. I like Lazard a lot too. Who else they got? Is he gonna play?
I think he is playing.
I do too. I'm starting him in fantasy.
Lazard ankle did not practice Thursday. I would leave him out.
Okay.
Bateman.
Yeah, he had a good week. Who are they playing? New England.
New England.
I like that.
And that gives us 6,800 on our last pick. Do you just want to go
Waddle?
So our team this week, it is Joey Burrow. Joe Burrow. Is that Daryl? Daryl Henderson Jr. What is that? Devin Singletary, Rashad Bateman, Stephon Diggs, Drake London, Logan Thomas, Jalen Waddle, and the Texans defense.
Love that.
That is our lineup for this week. Hopefully we will win. I think we first place wins us 100,000.
Jesus Christ, really?
So let's win this.
Oh, I would have taken that more seriously. I didn't know that. Fuck yeah.
The league I joined. Or 200,000. Wait.
200,000?
Wait, let's go to payout structure. Okay. $200,000 in winnings. So first place wins you $10,000. Second place wins you $6,000. Third place wins you $3,000. And it goes all the way down to you can win $1.50.
Oh, that's all right. At least you win something.
So yeah, at least you win something.
We'll try to get better at that segment. It's just a little weird. You know, we'll get better at it. That's something that we already did last week, so we thought, why not incorporate it? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, we'll look at the recording. If we find that it is like a little too dull, then we'll either figure out shit to make it more up, or
the only thing I can think is we might pick it beforehand and then just go through why we picked each person. But I like picking it live because that's kind of fun.
Like we might have to drop someone and be like, "Oh, we want to do this instead of this," and kind of explain why instead of like going through and picking everyone and having to remember what exactly we did.
I know this is a live idea and we can't do it now, but for next week, what we should do is screen record your screen. And then while we're picking, I can have that up.
That's a good idea.
So next week, that's what we'll do.
We'll do that next week.
Isn't that a good idea? Because then they can see like what all the changes we're making as we're talking about it. We'll do that next week.
I like that idea.
Yep. All right, folks, let's get into NFL Week 3. Cue the music. All right, so I see on the show sheet here, Casey, it says Casey's hot take.
Yep,
Can you tell me what that is?
No, nothing. I think you might know something about it.
Did you just say you know nothing?
No,
Are you good?
No.
I'm joking.
But
is this what you mentioned to me a couple weeks ago?
Okay, so yeah. I have a hot take. I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NFL teams, and 2 teams are on the hot seat right now. So I have 5 teams that are already after the second week of the season out of playoff contention. They are eliminated from the playoffs. I have the 2 teams, the Colts and the Texans, that are 0-1-1. They are in must-win situations right now. So ever since the NFL expanded the playoffs to, I think it's 7 teams on each side. Ever since they expanded the college playoffs or
NFL
playoffs.
Yep.
Teams that start 0-2 do not make the playoffs. And that list consists of the New York Giants, the New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Giants are 2-0.
Nah, this is teams last year that went 0-2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
The Indianapolis Colts, the Minnesota Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Detroit Lions. They all went 0-2 last year. Started out the season 0-2, and they all did not miss the playoffs. So they all did not make the playoffs. They all did not make the playoffs. So they are all. So pretty much if you start out 0-2, you're 0-7 to make the playoffs. Teams that are 0-2 this year: the Bengals, Titans, Raiders, Panthers, Falcons, and then the Colts and the Texans are in must wins. If they lose this weekend, they are out of the playoffs.
I love that. I want to tell you this. So a lot of the research I did this week was via the Action Network. That's a great website for talking games and getting some trends and some stats. So they agree with you, and they call these teams the kitchen sink teams, basically meaning you see all right?
Keep on talking.
Yeah, you're good. So they basically what Action Network does is these teams that are 0-2, they call them the kitchen sink teams, basically meaning that in order to avoid going 0-3, they have to throw the kitchen sink, at their opponent. So a couple of interesting stats regarding this this year's 0-2 teams. You're good. Casey, I love that. I love that take. So a couple of interesting things regarding kind of what you said. I think the Action Network agrees with you. They're basically saying that like 5 teams that are 0-2 and their seasons are pretty much already on the brink with like a third loss spelling like pretty much the end of their year. And they're basically saying that's 5 desperate squads that are going to be sure to pull out every stop, everything but the kitchen sink to find a win in week 3. This year's 0-2 teams include 3 that just made the AFC playoffs, the Bengals, Titans, and Raiders, along with the Panthers and Falcons, who are both, as you said, 0-2. And then also, as you mentioned, the Colts and Texans are sitting at 0-1-1. So some interesting notes. Since 2010, winless teams are 45, 29-1 against the spread when not facing another winless team in week 3. So it looks like these 0-2 teams perform pretty well in week 3, which is an interesting trend. That's almost a 61% cover rate. And then it also says that essentially that like history is on our side, that it's profitable to bet on these kitchen sink teams in week 3 because they know that if they don't win this week, then their season's probably over. Right. So that's just a good trend to keep in mind when we're discussing these 0-2 teams going forward. You want to get into the games?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to save this first one for the last?
Oh, sure.
Okay, let's get into the first game we have here. Texans at Bears. Bears -2.5, over under sitting at 40.
This game sucks. I mean, isn't Lovey Smith is the Texans coach, right?
Yep, this is a revenge game, right?
Every week, I'll say probably for the rest of the year because I'm just not going to get used to it.
I know it's weird. It's weird.
I think this is a revenge game for Lovey Smith. I see a note here that says that Chicago is averaging 76.5 passing yards a game.
Yeah.
That is sad. I mean, I get your first week was
it's a little
show, but still not that good of an average. I think the Texans are a sleeper team. I like the Texans winning this game outright.
Do you think that this game has some implications for the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
I do too.
I think these 2 teams are going to be definitely like 1 and 2 bottom of the NFL.
I'd say they're probably going to be in the bottom 5, and this could be like when we look back, whoever won this game could have moved themselves from 1 or 2 to like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yep.
I agree with you. This is going to be an ugly game. I like the under here. It scares me though because it's like you just like I get a weird vibe that the Bears are going to like come out firing. With like nothing to lose. Fields is going to want to let it loose. I just don't know who he has to throw it to. And even if that's their plan, I don't know if they're good enough to do that. Their roster just is not good. And I agree with you. I think the Texans play very hard. Singletary, that corner, he was named today as their number 1 corner. I think he's been that all year. I think Lovie Smith came out and said he's going to be the number 1 corner on that team for years to come. And they got a young, fun secondary. I agree with you. I like the Texans to win this outright, and if I had to pick, I'd take the under. Next game, fuck, man. 2 of them probably the more unpredictable teams in the league. Raiders heading to the Titans. Raiders are favored -2, over under at 45.5.
This is another one of those games to where I like the dog in this one. I thought the Raiders were going to be a lot better than
I had them in the Super Bowl.
than what they are.
And according to you, they're not even going to make the playoffs.
And I like the Titans winning this outright. I love them at +2, or I like them at +2, or I like them at money line. I even love them at +2.
Yeah, it's tough because based on what I just told you guys at the beginning, when two 0-2 teams play each other, history's usually, or when an 0-2 team plays a non-winless team, the history, two winless teams playing each other. I don't think either of these teams are as bad as 0-2 makes it look. Raiders should have won last week. They collapsed late before Kyler went video game mode. Titans pretty much had the Giants wrapped up, and then Saquon went crazy. I don't know. This is tough. I want the Raiders to win. I like the Raiders, but with a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast for an early start, I think it's Titans or pass here. So I'd agree with you. Yeah, I like the Titans in this one. What do you got? Any opinion on the over/under?
I would lean towards the under in this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of like a ground heavy, pound it with Derrick Henry type of game.
Yeah.
I will say that Titans are 0-2 against the spread this year, so I don't know what that means. Teams that are 0-2,
that what the spread is.
they
didn't come within the spread two of their games this year.
Thanks. You took me literally. I don't know how to take that heading into this matchup. We'll see. I don't know. I'd take the Titans. I agree with you. Again, it's one of those teams. I think these are probably two of the more unpredictable teams in the league. Like I said at the start, hard to know what you're going to get. Raiders could come out and throttle them. I just don't see that happening. I like the Titans here. Moving on, Chiefs at Colts. Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite. Over under at 50.5.
Colts are a fraud. Chiefs -5.5. Over 50.5. In a discussion.
Yeah, I like that, especially because the Chiefs coming off a Thursday night game, they've had even more time to prepare for this game. They're going to be well rested. I think anytime you give Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid extra time to prepare, that just does not bode well for the opposing team. I was high on the Colts coming in. They've proved me to be.
I think everyone was.
Yeah,
everyone was really high on the Colts, and all of a sudden, 2 duds to start out the year.
Bad duds. I would say that if you had to poll like NFL fans and say what's more likely, the Colts starting 2-0 versus the Texans and the Jags, or them starting 0-2, probably like 90% of the country would have said it's more likely they start 2-0 than 0-2.
Yep.
And so, again, this isn't looking good for the Colts. They're going to be 0-3 after this week. It would just be my luck, though, that this is the week that the Colts win. I don't see that happening. Never bet against Mahomes and Reed when they've had extra time to prepare. I love Chiefs -5.5. I love the over 50.5.
Love it.
What's next?
The Buffalo Bills are heading down to Miami and playing the Dolphins. Bills are 5.5-point favorites. Over under sitting at 52.5.
I think this is going to be a good game, man.
I think it's
going to be fun to watch. Let me put it that way.
I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think the Bills. I'm taking the Bills -5.5. I'm taking the over. I just feel like we've been saying with like the Seahawks and Geno Smith, I think water is going to meet its level.
That's fair.
With the Dolphins, I mean, I'm not saying that they're a bad football team. It's just
It's like what we talked about with Georgia. The Bills are just in a different category.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So what's interesting about this is although Miami is 2-0, the Bills have been so dominant that the line moved 2 points towards Buffalo from the preseason look ahead on Action Network. So it's one of those things where, yeah, Buffalo or Miami's looked really good, but the Bills have looked dominant. I think this is one of those things where it could be close throughout most of the game, and then all of a sudden you look up and the Bills are up 14.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The Miami keeps it close. A couple long touchdowns with Waddle or Hill. I expect Tua to probably have to pass the ball again 50 times a game. That's why I love the over in this one. I think both offenses have the chance to be really explosive, but I until the Bills show a chink in that armor, I can't bet against them, man.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
Josh Allen, dog.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, your favorite quarterback right now?
Easily. No, he's been my
think-
favorite. Even at the beginning of the season, he was my favorite quarterback.
You think that if you had to draft any quarterback right now in a fantasy draft,
Josh Allen.
who's number 2? Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Probably Herbert then.
Herbert or
Rodgers?
Burrow.
Burrow. Yeah, Burrow's good.
It's just Rodgers just old.
Yeah, I get that.
That depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to win a championship now and just say, screw it?
I was going to say like for 1 year, But yeah, I agree. Allen's just so good. I'm really impressed with Allen too. Just coming into the league, he had accuracy problems, and he's really shored that up. McDermott's done a great job over there. I love the Bills here, even though they're traveling to the Dolphins. Was this not a rivalry game, but a conference divisional game. Yeah. And history's on the Bills side here. They've destroyed Miami in recent years. Although I will say it's not the same Miami team, but I still love the Bills here.
Right. So the Baltimore Ravens are heading up to New England and playing the Patriots. Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. Over/under sitting at 44.
The line was Ravens -3 before the weekend, and after the weekend, it's still -3. The line hasn't budged all week. I don't know. That seems odd, especially the Ravens' offense has looked good. I know the Dolphins etched one out against them last week. Still, the Ravens have looked good. According to Action Network, the trends favor the Pats, like historically, but in my opinion, I think the matchup seems to favor the Ravens. I'll take the Ravens -2.5. I don't know. I have no opinion on the over/under.
I'll go Ravens -2.5, and Ravens -2.5, and I'm going to go under. I think they're going to win by just a field goal.
Okay, I like that. Next game, revenge game. Bengals at Jets, and I say revenge just because the Bengals are 0-2. I just think that this is an opportunity for the Bengals to head to New Jersey, even though the New York Jets, they play in New Jersey.
Both them and the Giants play in New Jersey.
I got a funny story about that. So you remember a couple years ago when the Super Bowl was there?
Yeah.
It was odd because they're like, why are you scheduling that? The weather could have been terrible. The mayor of New York got free tickets to the Super Bowl, but the mayor of New Jersey didn't. And he's like, dude, this is literally in my state. And they're like, yeah, well, not really.
They're called the New York team.
Yeah, I remember hearing that during the broadcast. I was like, that's so fucked up. You know what I mean? But like I said, so Bengals -6. They're the favorite here. Over/under at 44.5. I love the Bengals. The Bengals, if I had to pick a lock of the week, it would be Bengals -6. I think everything's gone wrong for the Bengals so far this year, and I think this is the game they get it right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll go Bengals -6. Then I'm also going to go over 40. Is that 45.5? I'll go over 45.5.
Yeah, it's also interesting because the Bengals are off to, like what we said, was a rather ugly start to start the year. And both times this year they've lost when being an outright touchdown favorite to start the year. That should be disconcerting. But there's just too much talent on both sides of the ball in Cincinnati. And with Joe Flacco playing, I just don't know that the Jets are going to be able to score enough points. The Jets should be 0-2 if it wasn't for Nick Chubb's, running it in the end zone. He should have taken a knee. That miraculous comeback by the Jets last week. I don't see them doing that again this week. I like the Bengals here. And Robert Saleh is just 6-12 against the spread as an underdog and 3-8 against the spread as a one-score dog. Trends favor the Bengals here. Jets defense is horrible. Jets offensive line's riddled with injuries. Also, I read earlier today that Sauce Gardner's health is in question. Sounds like he's going to play, but he might be a little banged up. And since he has covered in 16 of its last 17 wins, so I like the Bengals here.
I agree with you. That's
some good research right there.
That's some great research. So the Philadelphia Eagles are heading to Washington and playing the Commanders. I almost slipped up there. I almost said the Redskins.
Ooh,
the Commanders.
Should I bleep that out?
No, we're good.
I'm fucking with you.
Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. Over/under sitting at 47.5.
Yeah. So after the Eagles won on Monday, the line moved from Eagles -4 to Eagles -6.5. It seemed like Vegas and Action Network and all the other books really took some stock into that victory of the Eagles heading into Minnesota and boat racing them. Phillies won 8 of 10 against Washington as of late. And last week, the Commanders didn't achieve a single first down before trailing the Lions 22-0. They can't afford to do that against this Eagles offense. It won't even be close if that's what happens. However, surprising stat here, Wentz leads the league in passing touchdowns and ranked second in passing yards. I think some of that's a product of them playing from behind.
Right.
And it is the first time Wentz is playing in Philly since being traded, so I'm sure he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Really, he just needs to focus on not turning the ball over here, not trying to do too much if the Commanders are even going to have a chance. One little note for you, division dogs of over 6 points are 80 and 55 and 2 against the spread the first 5 weeks of the season, including 18 and 9 against the spread at home. The trends seem to favor the Commanders covering here. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I see big play Slay having a huge game in the secondary for the Eagles. I'm going to go the Eagles minus 6.5, and I'm also going to take the over because I can still see the Commanders getting
some points.
And
yeah.
I just feel like the Eagles' offense is just
kind of like what they did against the Lions last week, getting down and then having to pull a rabbit out of their hat to keep it close. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. Despite the trends kind of favoring the Commanders cover, I like Eagles minus 6.5, and I'll take the over. I agree with you.
So this next game, I mean, I'm not interested in this game at all. The New Orleans Saints are heading to Carolina and playing the Panthers. Saints are 3.5 favorites. Over under sitting at 41. I mean, the Panthers are what, 0-2 to start out the year?
Yes.
So, and I mean, what are your takes on this?
My takes on this one, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where my gut tells me the Panthers because it's like what I said at the top there with 0-2 teams throwing the kitchen sink at teams. And the trends definitely favor the Panthers in this one. Historically, you're like, oh, Saints will beat the Panthers. I'll tell you what, how bad the Saints offense looked last week against a banged up Tampa Bay team. That game was ugly. I like the Panthers in this one. Obviously, the Saints defense is going to be the most talented unit on the field this game. I don't know, man. I like, I don't know. Like I said, with the Panthers being a kitchen sink team, man, they're 14-6-1 against the spread in division games since 2010. Also, they're 30-17 against the spread, coming off a loss by 7 or fewer points. I don't know. I'll take the Panthers here. This is Matt Rule's last chance to really prove something, along with Baker Mayfield. If they start 0-3, it's over. And I think a lot of people thought the Panthers could be maybe not a contender, but a competitive team this year. I like the Panthers this one. I'll take the Panthers to cover, and I'll take the under 41. I'm
going to go opposite side of you. I'm going to go Saints minus 3. I think the reason why the Saints look well, this is only if let me reel this back in. This is if Alvin Kamara is playing. If Alvin Kamara plays, I think Saints minus 3. I feel like they're a different team when he plays. I feel like
he's dynamic.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the reason why their offense didn't look as good last week. And with Jameson having that back injury and then making him play, I feel like that was definitely another thing. With
factor.
Kamara not playing, Jameson's injury happening, just the 2 and 2 together definitely hurt that offense. If Kamara plays, definitely Saints minus 3. If he doesn't play, Panthers plus 3. That's what I'm going to roll with for this game. Over under, I'm not touching. I mean, I would lean towards 41. That's a shit number.
Just being frank with you guys.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Not even no opinion.
I have no opinion on it because I just played it through my head. I'm like under. I'm like no, don't be an idiot. Over. Yeah. No, don't be an idiot. Under. No, don't be an idiot. Over. No. How about don't be an idiot and don't fucking touch it?
Yeah, I like that. So I will say this: with how badly I've been at picking games this year, I'm going to rely on the trends a little bit.
How about this? Which coach you think would beat the shit out of the other coach?
Matt Rule. I wouldn't fuck with Matt.
Panthers plus 3.
Yeah. That's how I'm going. You're right. I've been so bad, I might as well just go with that. Matt Rule would kick the shit out of Dennis Allen. I'm going Matt Rule. I'm going Panthers plus 3. Book it. I will say this. I just wanted to say this. The reason I'm all in on the trends this week, guys, is because of how bad I've been. I needed to switch it up. I'm going to side with the trends on this one. I like the kitchen sink team, the Panthers, to win. We're on opposite sides of this one. But, hey, division game should still be a good one. We'll see what happens. This game sucks.
What, the next one?
Just because we don't know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and get into it.
So the next game,
I just pulled a Casey.
Yeah, you did just. What do you mean pull the Casey?
Casey's notorious for being like, I love this game. I love the under. And it's like, well, who are we talking about?
Okay, no, you're right. I do
we both do it. It's fine. It's fine.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars are heading all the way out to the West Coast and playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, yep.
Wow, I almost messed that up really bad. Chargers are 7-point favorites. Over-under sitting at 47.5. Key note in this is Justin Herbert healthy enough to play. He got hurt last week in the Thursday night game.
Yeah, he suffered a rib cartilage fracture. I don't know why they kept him in that game. Week 2, take him out.
Take him out.
What are we doing?
You're playing the Chiefs, take him out.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not like it's the end of the season where like you hit
win or lose, you go to playoffs. That didn't make any sense. I will say this: the line's already dropped from -10 to -7. If Herbert doesn't play, a lot of the books expect the line to drop near a field goal. That's per Action Network. If he's full go, expect the line to push back to double digits. This is a game, folks. I will tell you this: wait and see the injury report. If Herbert's playing, I would take
hammer Chargers,
hammer the over, because Jaguars. Cool
They'll
story.
Score some points.
Yeah.
They'll score some points. Over
Right.
will hit, but Chargers will cover.
Yeah. So this was a thing for me when we were going through our picks. I really wanted to take the under in this game because I think if Chase Daniel plays, I love the under.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to run the shit out of the ball. They're not going to let Chase just throw the ball around. I don't know who's playing, so this is one I'd wait and see on. Like Casey said, Herbert plays, Chargers over. Daniel plays. I still like the Charger with the points. Or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, but I like the under. I stumbled through that one. My bad, guys.
No, yeah, I agree with your statement on wait until the injury report comes out. If Herbert's playing, hammer over, hammer Chargers +7. If Chase Daniel's playing, hammer Jaguars +7, and hammer the under in this game.
This is also one of those things I never like when a East Coast team goes out west like that. It just feels like, and I don't know if this is a noon game or not. My guess is it's probably a 4:30 game.
Yeah, it's a 4:30 game.
Yeah, so I guess it would be.
I mean, it's 1 o'clock there, but it's a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Jaguars feel good story, man. Trevor Lawrence looks better this year than he did last year.
A lot better than he did last year.
But we'll see. They they actually have a coach now. That's probably why.
Right.
Fucking Urban Meyer. You think Urban Meyer's going to go to Nebraska?
No, he's saving for that Notre Dame job.
Okay.
The next game that we're going to talk about is the Los Angeles Rams heading down to Arizona and playing the Cardinals. Rams are 3.5-point favorites. Over under sitting at 48.5. Why do I feel like these games are always really close?
Because there's two good offenses. I will tell you this. They're typically not that close. I have a stat here for you. Rams have dominated Arizona. McVay is 5-1-1 against the spread and 6-1 straight up against Cliff Kingsbury. Those 6 wins were by an average of 14.2 points per game.
See, it's like you tell me that, and I'm like, now that I just when I see this matchup, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a close game.
Right, I agree. Yeah.
Stats prove it.
Yeah.
Rams -3.5.
I will tell you this. People are a little higher on Arizona now. People need to remember, Arizona's played like trash in 7 of their 8 quarters this year. They had 1 good quarter, and that came last week when Kyler went video game mode against the Raiders for that comeback. Arizona's struggling on offensive line and their defensive line. LA Rams have far more talent on both sides of the ball. Both teams are pass heavy. And I think that's an advantage for the Rams because Arizona's secondary is horrible. So if this comes into who's going to drop back and throw it more, I'll take Stafford all day, despite not knowing if he's fully healthy. And another quick tidbit, Kingsbury has been awful against good coaches in his career. I think
he's a good coach at all.
Yeah, McVay's got a Super Bowl. I like the Rams here. And I do like the over.
I love the over.
Yeah.
Just because I just see the Rams scoring. I can see the Cardinals getting up to 17.
I think it could be like a 42-21 game, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're both on the same side of this one. Even though it's at the Cardinals, it just doesn't feel like that matters. Like I said, McVay 5-1-1 against 6-1 straight up against Kingsbury, and they beat him by an average of 2 touchdowns. Give me the Rams.
Rams -3.5.
Yep. Falcons at Seahawks. This game is a pick'em, as it should be. Over under 41.5. Falcons 2-0 against the spread this year. trends favor the road dogs in this one.
Oh, I love the Falcons in this one.
Yes.
Love them, love them, love them. Now they're over under. That's sitting at a
perfect number.
Shitty number.
Well, if you want to pick, I think they got it right, though, because it's hard. It's tough. Like, 21-20, I don't know. I could see this being like a 24-20 game.
Yeah.
I also see it being 17-13.
Yeah.
So,
not touching over under, but I'm going Falcons.
Yeah, I think
this game outright. Well, it's a pick 'em, so Falcons.
Falcons kind of remind me of what like a better version of the Lions last year, where they play team. They're competitive. They play them tough. Even last week when they were down 28-3 against the Rams, they didn't give up. They could have mailed it in. They didn't. I'm sure some of that's like the Rams probably got a little lackadaisical to let them sneak back into that one. I like Arthur Smith. I like the Falcons, especially in this one. Seahawks, man, they're in retool mode, man. Like it's like we talked about with Geno Smith. He's off to an okay start for sure. The Falcons offense has weapons, and I just think that depleted Seahawks defense, I think it's going to be too much for them. I'll take the Falcons in this one.
I agree. So we're on the same side of this one. This next game is, I would say, probably my funnest game to watch of the weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Green Bay Packers heading to Tampa Bay and playing the Bucks. Bucks are 1-point favorites right now, over under sitting at 42. I'm really surprised at this number. Unless it's like game is in Tampa and they just don't trust the Packers offense. But it's who is Tom Brady throwing the ball to?
Yeah, so Tampa Bay's ravaged by injuries. The Bucks have 2 healthy starters on offense, and one of them's TB12, who's 45 years old. Mike Evans is out. He's suspended. Chris Godwin's doubtful, and Julio Jones and Russell Gage are both going to play hurt, and so is Leonard Fournette. They're all banged up. Their offensive line's a disaster. They're missing both their starting interior linemen, and both their star tackles are questionable with injuries. Last week, the Bucks were down to their third-string left tackle. And, dude, so far the Bucks have against the Saints, they only averaged 4 yards per play, and TB12 only has 402 yards all season. Their offense hasn't looked great. And on the other hand,
looks like him taking Wednesdays off is not working out for him.
Yeah, no shit. Especially that whole time. I knew the Bucks were going to start slow after he missing that time in training camp. It's football, man. It's just not that easy. Green Bay, on the other hand, in comparison to the Bucks, they're only getting healthier. They got their starting tackle back last week, and we saw how big of a difference that made. And another interesting note about the line: despite the Bucks being undefeated and playing at home, the line opened at Sunday just at 3.5-point favorites, and the line's moving towards Green Bay. And Green Bay honestly could be favored by game day once the injury report comes out. On Tuesday morning, the Packers were plus 2.5. Then it dropped to +2, and then on Wednesday morning it opened up at 1.5, and now it's already down to 1. I don't know. Another interesting note, another trend for you: when 2-0 teams like the Bucks are favored by less than 4 points, they're only 14-21-1 against the spread. I like the Packers here. Matt LaFleur is 9-3 against the spread as an underdog. I'll take the Packers. I'll always take the healthier team. I like the Packers. You like the under in this one, don't you?
I love the under in this one. I love the Packers, and I love the under. Just because of everyone that Tampa's missing, I don't see them scoring
a ton
much.
of points. Yeah, I agree with that.
And then same thing with the Packers. The maximum, I don't see them scoring.
Yeah.
They have to prove it to me that you can score points, especially for the Packers.
I think this early in the year, this is a safe bet. The Packers, although they looked good last week, they ran the shit out of the ball. They're going to control the time of possession in this one. I think that they're going to try to get the young receivers involved. I'm just not certain that explosive Packers offense that we're used to is going to be there. I like the under, but I will take for sure Packers money line in this one. It's essentially a pick 'em anyways. I like Packers, and I like Packers, and I also do like the under.
Perfect. We're on the same side in this one. So it looks like we're on the same side of this one.
Were you
I do it every fucking week.
Yeah, you're good.
So this is a Sunday night game. The San Francisco 49ers are heading to Denver and playing the Broncos.
Yep.
49ers are 2-point favorites Over-under sitting at 44.5. A lot of people are saying that the 49ers are going to be on the road to the Super Bowl now that Jimmy G is their quarterback.
I mean, I called that at the beginning of the year. 49ers were my team to win it with Jimmy G at the helm. Granted, I did not want Trey Lance to get hurt. I just thought he'd play his way out of that job. Like I just said, Trey Lance is out for the year. Elijah Mitchell's not back. And the Broncos head coach, Nathaniel Hackett's just looking like he's not ready to be a head coach.
No, he's not. This is
a bunch of bonehead moves so far.
Well, it all started off with what? It was the week 1.
Yeah, that field goal decision
where they instead of you have two options: 5 yards with a dude you paid what $240 million, $240 million to, not a year, but like a total contract of $240 million, or put it in your kicker's foot and have him kick a 64-yard field goal to win the game. I think that was the dumbest decision a head coach could ever make.
He just looked overwhelmed, man. And they had a couple delay of game penalties last week, and Hackett came out and said, like, oh, I just got to be quicker at deciding if I want to go for it or kick a field goal. I'm like, dude, you're the head coach.
You should have those scenarios already in your head. We're like, once we get to that point, what are we doing?
Decisive. There's nothing worse than being indecisive. If you're wrong, at least you made the decision. Don't do this pussyfooting around. Also, he was asked earlier this week if he was going to relinquish play calling duties, and he said, I think I'm going to keep calling plays. Dude, they hired you because you're an offensive brain. Don't do this, I think that. You are the leader of this fucking football team. I am
picking it, or this guy is picking it.
Yeah, that's it.
I think this, I think that.
He's just getting a little too cute. It looks like it's going to be a disaster with Hackett there. He's got to turn that around quick. I do have some tidbits for you. The 49ers defense has been great this year, and I think that spells trouble for what we just alluded to, a struggling Denver offense. Although Wilson has been awesome in his career as an underdog and at home in primetime games, I'm not sure he's the same person that we've become accustomed to. Also, 49ers were underdogs when this line opened up, but the money flipped the line. All the money, all the sharp bets are on the 49ers in this one. Also, together, Garoppolo and Shanahan are 13-3 against the spread when they open up at anything less than 3-point favorites.
I love the 49ers at -2, and then I'm also going to take the under in this one. I think the Broncos are frauds.
This is a tough one. I want to take the over. I'm going to take the over. I like 49ers -2. I like the over. I think 49ers cut out to lead. Wilson's forced to throw the ball a ton.
Under's 2-0 this year in Sunday night games, just saying.
That's also true. Yep, I did see that. I don't know. I see the Broncos maybe playing from behind in the second half, and maybe some backdoor cover action for the over/under there. That's kind of what I'm looking at. But yeah, I don't know. Damn, we're already almost done.
Yeah, we got two more games.
Oh, you moved them.
Because last week we totally almost skipped over the Lions.
Yep, smart.
So this is the Monday night game. The Dallas Cowboys are heading up to New York and playing the New York 2-0 football Giants.
Love that. That was fucking electric. I'm fucking goose-string. I might change my pick because of that.
So the New York Football Giants are 1-point favorites. Over/under sitting at a whopping 39 points.
That's so crazy in an NFL game, dude. 39. That might be one of the lowest over/unders this year.
Yeah, I think that's the lowest I've seen. So,
Giants barely beat two 0-2 teams. Dallas defense playing very well. When 2-0 teams are favored by less than 3, they are a measly 14-21-1 against the spread. That's a 60% rate. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I love the Giants in this one. Fuck the Cowboys. Giants -1, and let's go. Let's do it. Under 39. Under.
I like the under here. I like the Cowboys, however. Another trend that matches this game. Short home favorites on Monday night are just 12-22-1 against the spread. The total's 39, like you said, and dropping. Daniel Jones is also trended under at home. The under is hit in 15 of his 20 starts at home. Jones is just 2-5 against the spread as a favorite and 8-12 against the spread at home. Jones sucks. I know it's Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. I'll take the Cowboys defense. I'll take the Cowboys +1, money line, whatever you want to call it. I like the Cowboys in this one, and I'll take the under.
Nice.
Yep. That's some research for you. I'm coming back with a vengeance this week.
We'll see.
But
But
shut the fuck up.
our Detroit Lions.
Oh, I almost said football Lions. That would have been
bad. One pride. Are heading to Minnesota and playing the Vikings. Vikings are 6-point favorites. Over under sitting at 52.5.
love the over.
Love the over in this one, and I also love the Lions +6.
Wow, really?
Love the Lions +6.
Kool-Aid, guys.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. We'll see what happens. I think the Lions will keep it close. I mean, I see a stat here that says, these teams have played 3 straight games that are 2-point games.
Yep.
Boom. That's my reason.
Yeah.
I end the discussion. Look at this. Mic drop.
He caught it. Nice. On Sunday night, the over was set at 50.5, and it's moved to 53.5. I think that's
just gonna go up.
Yeah, I think so. I saw something earlier. The Lions have scored the 3rd most points in the NFL this year, behind the Bills and the
Probably Commanders or Dolphins.
No, I think it was the Chiefs, Bills, Lions. I think. But anyway, the Lions are a top 5 offense so far this year. I don't know, man. This is tough. The line, I would say this. If the line moves from Vikings -6 to -7, there's some nice division underdog trends that favor the Lions. I think the Vikings win by a touchdown. I got Vikings -6 over under 52.5.
Can't believe it. Can't believe
it. You think Goff's gonna have another good game? This is gonna be a hostile environment.
Kirk Cousins sucks too, so I think Lions +6. We're good.
You think Amon-Ra breaks that record? The one that we talked about last night. I think it's 9 straight games with 8 receptions or something like that.
I think
that's another one. Did you hear what he said this week about that that receiver for the Commanders?
No.
He said, so this is what he said. He was asked just about like how he still feels about being drafted in the 4th round. And he says, I know all of them by heart, where they went to school and whatnot. But like I said, no disrespect to him. I'm sure he's a great human being and a great player. And he's referring to Ime Brown, who plays for the Commanders. He was taken before Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he played 1 snap in that game.
Nice.
Amon-Ra's taking notes.
Nice. No, I love that. I love during Hard Knocks how he was like, I know every player, and he listed every player in what college they went to.
Yeah. So
Hard Knocks, I love that.
I don't know. I'll be obviously rooting for the Lions here. This is always a game. If I pick against Lion, I will not be upset if they end up winning. That's our team. Vikings look good. I expect them to rebound after getting trounced by the Eagles at home. I think it was, or was it at Philly? I thought it was at Minnesota. Can't remember. It's been a long week. I thought it was
in Philly.
Was it in Philly? Okay, so it was in Philly. Okay.
I think so, at least. We'll say it's in Philly.
Yeah. Either way, this one's tough, man. I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to take Vikings -6, but I do like the over here. Hopefully the Lions ball out. Hopefully Swift plays. We need Hawkinson to have a better game if the Lions are going to pull it off. Can't have 3 drops. Hopefully they get DJ Chark involved this game. He's been a little quiet this year. Are there any players in particular that are any matchups in this game that you're looking forward to?
Honestly, are they throwing Okuda on Jefferson, you think?
I think it could be one of those things where, he stays on one side of the field. If Jefferson's there, he's got him. If not, it'll be kind of like a split coverage type of thing. I expect them to get after Kirk Cousins in this game. I expect if the Lions win, Hutchinson has a sack. I know that's bold prediction. I just think that if you can get Kirk Cousins, not a mobile quarterback. If you can disrupt that pocket, don't give him a lot of time to throw. Don't let him be. He's going to end up being a check down Charlie at that point. That's how the Lions win this game. The problem is the Lions need Swift to play and have more than 7 fucking carries this game. I know they were able to do it against the Commanders. Minnesota's got a good front. They have 2 great pass rushers. I don't know what the status of the offensive line for the Lions is this week. Got to wait for the injury report to come out. They played well enough last week, but I think this Vikings defense is better than the Commanders defense. The Lions are gonna have their hands full if they wanna keep this one close.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Lions have to play a really, really good game.
Yeah, especially on the road there.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for our NFL slate. Let's get into our picks of the week.
So last week was a rough week for you. You went
I'm
a
not doing
whopping 1-9, bringing your total record to a wonderful 8-17. I changed your name in my phone to Mr. 8-17, and it's going to stay that way. It's going to change whatever your record is until you get at least 500. I mean, I'm not.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on.
Are
you serious?
Okay, are you sure you want to show the picture too?
Yeah. Look at this. I'm pouring a beer on my head, but it's fine.
Mr. 8-17. You didn't believe me?
No, I thought you were trolling me.
No,
That's so fucked up.
serious.
That's
8-17. So
yeah, it was a rough week. I promised our viewers, I promised our listeners. Also, shout out to Mars. Thanks for all the interaction.
Shout out to Mars. Always interacting, always giving us feedback on what we should do to improve, giving us top 5 ideas.
Yeah.
He's always messaging me. Thank you, Mars.
I think we're gonna take his top 5 from next week. We'll get into that obviously on Tuesday's show. But shout out to him. Just want to give him a shout out. I promised our listeners I was gonna be better. I sat here on this couch in this spot and I said I'm gonna bounce back. I'm gonna be better. That obviously didn't happen. I was worse. Another fucking slate where Helen Keller could have picked better. Hoping I do better this week. I did equally amount of research. I just did a different kind of research this week. I really try to invest in the trends.
What did you do this week? Did you just take a dart and just throw it at a whiteboard?
No, what I did was I said if I think this is who's going to win, I picked the opposite.
Nice.
I faded myself the entire week.
Nice.
I also took your advice, and if I was in between, I just said which coach is going to beat the shit out of the other coach.
I like that.
And
I
that's
like
what
that
I
idea.
took. And then I picked on color if I really got into it.
I like that. I like that. So last week I didn't do the greatest, but I was 500. I went 5-5, bringing my record to 13-12.
You were even money.
I'm still above 500, so I'm happy. I'm happy. But let's just get into it. So what are your plus covers of the week?
I got Arkansas covering +2, playing at Jerry World against A&M. I think Arkansas could win that game outright. A&M's got to prove it, man. I like Arkansas in this game. They've played well, although they're I know we got into it earlier, but they have a horrible pass defense. But I don't think A&M's got the quarterback to even exploit that. I like Arkansas covering +2. And then my other plus cover, we just talked about it. I like Packers covering money. The Packers are going to win.
I like both of them. Like both of them. So you should be 2-0 right there. My plus covers of the week are I like Rutgers +7.5 against
Dangerous.
Iowa. I think both teams suck, but I think that they'll cover the 7.5. And I also, like I just said, I love the Lions +6. So those are 2 risky plays, but I'm riding with.
You just trying to get your record worse and not make me feel bad, or what?
Watch me go 2-0 in those games. What are your minus covers of the week?
I got Kansas -7 against Duke. That's weird to say. You love that pick when I made it. We literally talked about it before the show.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
It's weird for me to even see Kansas as in the minus, like as a favorite.
Duke sucks. Duke is horrible.
I get that, but just in our lifetime, Kansas has just been one of the worst Power 5 football teams. I don't know. I like Duke's not very good. Kansas scores a shit ton of points. I like Kansas -7. I also if I had to pick a lock of the week, Bengals -6 over the Jets. That's easy.
Okay.
What about you?
My minus covers of the week are UCF -20.5 against Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech is god awful at football. I don't see them. I see them winning only one game this year. I'm taking UCF, and game is in at UCF. So UCF
Bounce house
-20.5 against a shitty Georgia Tech team. And my other minus cover of the week is the Chiefs -5.5.
Who are they playing?
Who the fuck are they playing? We just talked about it. Colts. Yep, Colts are a fraud, and I love.
That seems like an easy one.
The Chiefs at -5.5. Let's get into our overs of the week. What are your 2 overs?
I got Clemson and Wake Forest over 55.5.
Love it.
We talked about this earlier. That seems like an easy over to hit. Especially with Wake Forest is probably going to throw the ball 60 times a game. I expect them to score. Expect Clemson to score. I like Clemson in the game, but I think Wake Forest is going to win. My other over of the week, Miami Bills over 52.5. We talked about this one a little earlier. I mean, the way fucking Bills are playing, they could get to 52 by themselves. I expect, like I said, I think the Bills end up winning. I just think that both teams are going to score a ton of points.
I can see that. I love both of those picks. My 2 overs of the week are Florida, Tennessee over 62.5. I think that's going to be an absolute shootout. And then I'm double dipping on the Lions here. I don't like doing this.
You told me not to do that because you're like, if you lose, that's 2 losses.
Okay, no, okay. No, yours were, I'm taking the plus cover and I'm also going to make it my dog. That's a cheap way out. This is completely different than what you did. So that would be like me saying Rutgers is my money line or my dog of the week and the Lions are my dog of the week. That's what I'm talking about, the double dipping.
Oh.
Is you taking it as your plus cover and then having the cop-out way and using them as your dog of the week. Because you couldn't figure out a dog of the week.
Yeah, but isn't that what you just did?
No, I take them as my over.
I'm
still double dipping on the line.
I see now. Sorry.
I'm still double dipping
because that just went straight over my head. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm still touching the game twice, and I don't like doing that.
I see what you mean now. I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, you're right. That was a cop-out what I did last week. Yeah. You're totally right.
It's just the way I look at it. It's like, okay, you couldn't figure out a dog, so it's like easiest way. Let me just go.
Well, and there's going to be weeks where that happens, but yeah.
Because you don't like. I mean, it's hard because the NFL is really hard to pick, and then college football, you really don't have that many. Dude, I'll strip the fuck out of you. You're lucky you haven't in that other hand.
Ball.
You love you.
Hey guys, who am I? Yeah. Who am I? What's going on, guys? Yeah, you could get it.
Okay, but
sorry.
overs of the week.
A lot of energy right now.
Are Florida, Tennessee over 62.5, and then Lions, Vikings over 52.5. I love both of those overs.
Yeah, I like those two. What was your college one again?
Florida, Tennessee, 62.5.
Yeah. We talked about that. That's for sure going to be an over. It's funny when we talk about these. It always feels like these are all easy, and then the games happen, and you're like, "How the fuck?"
Virginia Tech sucks at football. Sorry to cut you off.
Just watching yourself lose money.
What's your unders of the week?
My under of the week is Auburn, Missouri, under 51.5. I struggled with this one. I looked at.
That is an ugly game.
Yeah, it's just Auburn's quarterback plays so bad. I went through and thanks to Casey, kind of helped me look at what both teams have scored each week throughout the year. I like the under this one. I think it could be ugly, man. It doesn't feel like a game that a lot of points are going to be scored. So I'll take the under 51.5 Auburn, Missouri, and my other under of the week is Cowboys Giants under 39.
I mean, I like the one. I don't really have an opinion on the other one, but
which one do you like?
One. I mean, I love the Giants Cowboys under 39, but
just Auburn, not sure about the other one.
Not sure about the other one because I really don't know much about them. I know Auburn sucks. I don't know anything about Missouri.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
what are your unders?
Unders of the week are riding with Iowa again. Iowa Rutgers under 33.5. I'm double dipping again. Touching the game twice. Took the Rutgers plus 7.5. I'm also taking the under 33.5.
That's
I know
wild.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous to say, but both these offenses are horrible. I love the under. I love the under in this game.
Like a 17-10 game or something.
I could see a team not getting double digits.
Well,
I could see 14-7. I could see 14-3. I could see 17-3. I could 17-7.
Well,
under 33.5. Any
you need Rutgers to win by like 10.
Any score no. I need Rutgers to lose by less than 7.
Oh, I was the favorite. I see now. Yep. Sorry, I'm looking at something different. Yeah, I don't, dude. That's such a wild over under, especially in college.
That's one of the lowest over unders
I've ever seen. Yeah, I agree. I love it. Are we?
Love it. I said it since week 1. I am riding with the Lions overs and Iowa's unders until they hit. Until they go the opposite way, I am riding with both of them.
I love it. And then the other one was
dogs.
Packers Bucks under 42,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, I forgot. Then my other under was Packers Bucks under 42. I think that's gonna be a low scoring game.
Yeah, we kind of just talked about that one. Not much to say about it. Bucks are banged up. You know, I like that pick. I think I took the under when we talked about it, so I like that pick.
Did. Let's get into our dogs of the week. What are your two dogs?
Tucker's gonna be so pissed you just did
Fuck
that.
Tucker.
Whoa, he's really under your skin, isn't
Oh,
he?
he pissed me off today. So fuck Tucker today. I love him, but fuck him.
That's fair. My dog of the week, I got SMU against TCU. I think TCU's on the road for that game. I like SMU to win that one straight up. I think the spread was small. I like SMU money line in this one. That's what we usually do for our dogs. Excuse me. Yeah, I like SMU in this one. They got a good offense. I expect them just to outscore TCU in this one. My other dog of the week, I like Panthers against Saints.
Two good picks.
Kitchen sink
Two
team.
good picks. My dogs of the week
Jesus Christ.
are
Good thing we're near the end of this.
Arkansas.
We're losing all cap pressure.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. 100%. Especially having to reset 3 times.
Yeah, no shit.
Arkansas over Texas A&M. I think they're going to win outright. Or that's pretty much why they're my dog of the week.
Yep.
And I also love the Texans beating
is a good
the
pick.
Bears. I think it's a revenge game for Lovie Smith. I don't think the Bears are a good football team, and I think the Texans. I'm not saying they're a good football team, but
They're scrappy, man.
They're like the Lions last year. They're a scrappy team. They stay in games and they can beat you.
Yeah, I will say when we were talking about the Texans earlier, you totally changed my opinion on that game. I do see the Texans just playing teams tough. Lovie Smith, people want to call him washed, whatever. That dude's been to a Super Bowl. I like Lovie Smith. I like your pick. Hopefully, I do better than 1-9 this week.
Yeah, let's hope
And,
so. Let's hope so.
yeah, 'cause that's
you just seemed down after. Well, I think you went 0-5. No, your 1 win was college. I think.
Yeah, it was the over, right?
Yeah, I think your 1 win was college. Let's double check real fast.
You going to take a peek?
Going to take a peek.
Just more opportunity for him to roast.
No,
me.
your 1. You started out 0-5. Nope. Yeah. No. Yeah. You started out 0-5. Your 1 win was Dolphins Ravens over 44 and a half.
Yeah, I knew it was an over. Yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
that's fucking just not good. And at one point, that over didn't look good.
Yeah,
I was here watching that game
Yeah,
with you, and
we
you're
thought-
like, you're gonna go 0-10. I was like, don't fucking say that.
And then the over hit, and then we celebrated.
That's the worst
Plan of
fucking
the
part.
week.
Yeah, because I got one victory. I didn't lay a fucking goose egg, just a breadstick. Jesus fuck. That's the worst part about this is like obviously Casey knows all my picks, and like as the games progress, it's just like get a text like you're 0-4, you're 0-5. Like, dude, what are we fucking doing, man? Well, is it time?
Not yet. We're gonna get into our picks of the week parlay. So we each pick 2 out of our picks of the week of our most confident parlay all 4 bets into one parlay. Webb's picks are Bengals -6 and the Packers +1. My picks are the Florida Tennessee over 62 and the Packers Bucks under 42. So we're double dipping in that Packers game. The odds are at +1,184. A $10 bet will win you $128.35. So pretty good odds. I think these are almost 4 Glocks.
Yeah, I would say that this was one of those when we were going through and like I gave mine and you gave yours. You liked both of my picks and I liked both of your picks. And I'm not saying that usually it's contentious because it's a parlay, so we want to agree on it.
I would say the past 2 weeks there was like one of yours I was like up in the air about, and there's one of mine. Maybe
it's just like
you were up in the air about. I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I like these. And so what'd you say the odds were again? One more time for the people.
+1,184 are the odds. That's if you want to do your own math, but to put it into money terms, a $10 bet will win you $128.35.
Well, that seems like free money to me.
Seems like free money to me too. So
now it's time.
Now it is time.
It is time for Casey and Tyler's 12-leg get rich or die trying parlay. Cue the music.
I love
Here comes the money.
Here we
go.
Money talk. I love BYU money line. And
All right, Case, let's get into it. A little bit tougher of a week here. The odds aren't, crazy, but
Odds
we
aren't
needed
like they were the last 2 weeks, but we kind of had to dial it back in
because we've been losing early.
We've been losing on like the first or second game of the parlay, so we have to kind of reel it back in real fast.
You want to just go look every other, each read one, or how do you want to do it?
Usually, I just read down the list, but I mean, we can do whatever you want.
I want to get involved.
We can do that. So, I'll do first 5, you do bottom 5.
Okay, and then you can do the last 2.
Or I'll do first 6, you do bottom 6.
Bad at math.
You do first 6, I'll do bottom 6, and I'll
perfect. Okay, so the first half we got Clemson, Wake Forest over 55.5. Love that one. Florida, Tennessee over 62.5. Obviously love that one. This one's a little questionable, but I do like it. USC, Oregon State over 70.5. Then we got UCF minus 20.5 over Georgia Tech. Love that one. We got Texas money line, Arkansas money line.
Then we have the final 6 are going to be SMU money line, the Atlanta Falcons money line.
Love that.
Philadelphia Eagles money line, Bengals money line, Buffalo Bills money line, Packers money line. Odds are at 77,000.
How do you do that?
244. He just opened my door. So odds are at, or a $10 bet will win you $7,734.43. So I'm going to run that through the bets real fast.
Yep.
Clemson, Wake Forest over 55.5. Florida, Tennessee over 62.5. USC, Oregon State over 70.5. UCF minus 20.5. Texas money line, Arkansas money line, SMU money line, Atlanta Falcons money line, Philadelphia Eagles money line, Cincinnati Bengals money line, Buffalo Bills money line, and a final tap it all off. Good, Green Bay Packers money line. Odds are at 77,244. A $10 bet wins you $7,734.43. Ride with us.
Money.
Get rich or die fucking trying.
I love that shit. Well, that concludes the show. Casey, any
mouthful?
Yeah, I know, dude. That was hype. Anything you want to say to close out the show?
Ride with us, die with us, get rich or die trying. I love you guys. We will talk to you next week in our recap.
We love you guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers. Yep.